Dripping in the bathroom, bloodstains, ball gowns, trash in the hotel room. We don't care. We're driving Cadillacs in our dreams, but everybody's like,
I just got cracked.
Diamonds on your timepiece, jet planes, islands, tigers on a gold leash. We don't care.
Are we actually live?
Caught up in your love affair, and we'll never be royal.
I think, okay, maybe I am. Are we good? Okay. All right, what's up, Matters? Good evening, everybody. A little bit live. We're a little bit live, says Scaly. We're a little bit, just a little bit live. Shut up, Sunday. My car, oh my God. Griffin, I hate you so much. I cannot believe that the community now thinks I have a dirtier car than Echo. You know, such crap. I had just driven 9 hours. There was literally one McDonald's meal in there, and I didn't stop at a gas station to put it in a garbage can. Oh my God. Echo, whatever. It was a Big Mac wrapper and a chicken nugget wrapper. I had Oliver with me. Oh, jeez. Yes, slightly. Yes, it was a Big Mac box. It was a Big Mac box.
Oh, no, you don't.
Yes,
no,
I
no,
do.
no,
You're killing me.
You did. No, you did have a Big Mac box in there.
Yes.
Among 5 other boxes of
there was
different
not
hamburgers.
5 other boxes. Why are
Large
you making me
French fries
sound
thrown
like
all
such
over
a
the center
badass?
console.
It was not 5 boxes. God.
And then half a box of graham cracker crumbs on my seat.
That was a snack. Oliver ate graham crackers as a snack.
And then that was just the front seat. We're not even talking about the back seat yet.
The back seat, which, by the way, still has Beck's stuff from Nashville's convention that I haven't shipped yet.
I fixed my mic.
Oh, hey, good evening. What's up?
Yeah,
okay.
sorry. I thought that you still had me muted, but it turned out I just hadn't given permissions for the web browser to use my microphone.
Well, Echo, you are exonerated.
You say I'm defensive,
you do
but
not
I've gotten
have
so many messages. So many messages.
Well,
people are like, oh, your car, you're making fun of Echo.
You were clowning
Your
on
car
Echo
is worse than mine.
part of the
No,
year.
it's not
Your
worse.
car's worse than mine, DJ. I will give you a video of my car right now. It's worse than mine.
Actually, my car right now is clean because that's how I keep it. But
My
right
name's
before
DJ.
that, I was in the car for 9 hours. God.
Okay, what did a magical garbage person come into your car while you were driving in those 9 hours and make it dirty?
I went
And
through
somebody
a
else that has
Was
drive-through.
it dirty before?
DJ's
I went through a drive-through. The hell? Well, okay, let me ask a question. This is a real question. All right, you go.
Is this
through
an ARC question?
No, it's a you question. All right.
Okay, cool.
I go through. You go through the drive-through, and by the way, I know the answer for you. All right, so don't be playing silly games here, okay? Because I know your answer. All right, you go through a drive-through because you're in the car.
Yep.
You eat the food. Then what do you do with the trash? Echo?
Oh, I always throw it out right away.
No, okay? You don't throw it out like a normal
No,
person.
I keep it in the car until I'm about to leave, or honestly, I will just leave it in there and deal with it.
Throw it out the window. It's free advertising,
Don't
and it gives
throw it
people
out the
jobs to
window
clean it up.
either,
It's
Carcass.
littering.
Yeah, that's littering. What you do is you just toss
Free
it in the car
advertising.
until you stop at the next gas station, until you have a chance to take it in the house and throw it in the trash can. I arrived in Nashville at like midnight, and that was already an hour back. It was 1 a.m. Eastern time. I was exhausted. I wasn't going to clean out my damn car at 1 o'clock in the morning, Griffin. I just went to the hotel and slept.
The valet stand had a 45-gallon trash can right next where you pulled up.
And I was concentrating on trying to get my bags out of there because the valet was standing there tapping her foot. What the hell? Why did that go off? Standing there tapping her foot because it was 1 a.m.
That would be, you know what that sound is? That's the lie detector.
No.
That is true. That is true.
Actually, the reason that's going off is because it is cold in the studio.
Yeah.
It is so cold. So the buttons, you remember I had this problem last winter where the buttons would If just with the slightest vibration, they would go off.
It's because they're shrinking. They're condensing.
Is that actually a real thing?
Cold. I mean, things generally condense because molecules slow down as temperature decreases.
Maybe
things
so.
expand because molecules are moving faster during the heat.
Gotcha. Good evening. Good evening, Mimi. Oh, I haven't turned on the lights. It's very dark in the studio right now, and I just turned on the camera. We haven't even played the show open. What are we going to do? Hi, Otter.
I have no idea.
Yeah, here, I'll turn on some lights. God, oh, it's bright.
Yes, contract. Excuse me.
I haven't even turned on the DJ's light or anything. But you know why? It's because I didn't want to get into like 20 minutes of show when Echo was only going to be with us for like 5 minutes. So we'll hang out with him for a minute and then.
Yeah. Can I? Are we live? Like, are you recording?
Yeah. Yeah. We're live. We're totally live. Why would the
light
work?
Give me some like serious sentimental music real quick.
You want sentimental music? He wants sentimental music. All right, hang tight. I got something. Hey,
don't you dare do the Marvin Gaye song.
Hey, community, he wants sentimental music.
Yeah, I'm feeling emotional right now.
He's feeling emotional right now. Okay, all right, fine. Here, ladies and gentlemen, community manager. Sorry, former.
That's not the Marvin Gaye song.
I've got it here, and it's immediately ready. Right. Okay.
No, it's perfect.
Before we actually get into the show, ladies and gentlemen, live ops manager Echo decided that he wanted to stop by for just a minute or two. How you doing, buddy? Hey, good job on your art here so far. I mean, seriously, there's more good than bad. So that's automatically kind of a win. I don't think it's worthy of an A+ or anything. We could talk more about that. But you're doing pretty good,
shooting for an A+ my very first time.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
When you got live ops managers like Chicago, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to beat them on your very first try.
Sure. Emotional. Got it.
I just wanted to say, because I know you. Okay, this is the worst. Whatever. Can you turn it down just slightly? This thing is blowing my ears out.
Oh, quit whining.
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody in your Discord, in your community. I've been here just about every single day asking for people to make sure events were running properly and looking at things and asking for feedback on stuff. And everyone's been extremely, extremely nice, understanding, and compassionate towards me. And in a month that this is my first time doing a lot of things, and so there's a lot going on, it means the world to me that I can come here and ask for these types of things, and everyone is so willing, and that's just a testament to the community you've built, DJ.
Thanks. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my light.
Suddenly, I'm inspired to buy more packs in the game, so I guess mission accomplished.
Nice. Why won't my DJ's light turn on? It won't turn on, Griffin.
Oh, well,
I realized after that event went live, Jules, I added 2 zeros at the end of the points because I was thinking it was like another event, but it's damage dealt. So I saw it and I was like, oh, that's gonna be big numbers.
8 quadrillion per hit.
By the way,
that was my bad.
8.5.
I meant to look in the game. Has he adopted the use of commas yet in the event scoring? No. Okay, just checking.
No.
Why are there no commas?
I can tell you why that happens, because when I'm configuring things, Google Sheets doesn't automatically put commas in for me. And when I'm moving at the velocity I'm moving at, there ain't no time for commas.
Nobody got time for that. We had to handwrite our own commas on all of our homework. So
listen, did you Griffin, good news for you. I'm releasing a prime comma IAP.
Oh, God.
So that you can verify that you have commas everywhere that you need them.
I will blow up your EcoBoost engine.
Okay, hey,
I'm being facetious.
Real quick, Spectre, Tarpy, whomever, what is happening? What is happening in Discord audio? Because right before I came on, there was a Windows update. And before we actually start the main part of the show, we should probably try to get that right. Podcast is taping though, but yeah, is Discord giving grief? Anybody?
Sounds fine to me.
Oh, does it?
Fine to me.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, if you're having trouble on Discord, maybe restart or something like that. Ransusi says Discord is fine. Hey, I want to throw something out. While we're just talking,
the crash from your car?
You are a son of a biscuit. No, it's I wanted to. What is happening over here? My computer is just. I feel like there's weird things happening.
I'm gonna say this really quickly. All the good ideas were mine. All the bad ideas were DJ's.
Okay. Whoa, wait, what? I'm sorry, what?
We'll just slip that in.
No, what I was going to say was kind of a cool idea on this 6-year anniversary Battle Pass idea. When I was thinking about it, I kind of had the thought of when we went back to Galaxy Quest and we had that second Battle Pass and people really liked it. Obviously, you did find a way to make it worse, so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
But because...
You're welcome, no problem.
Because... you didn't give away another free track. I am curious, though, because this tech felt a little bit different than before. Why was it that you had to reboot the game? Like, it's always kind of a weird little yellow flag, right? When you're like, okay, after you do this, you have to reboot the game, but then it'll work good.
Yeah, we really had the idea of like, for the anniversary, we want to do something special because as you know, like when you unlocked the Battle Pass, you got all those points as well. Like everything was just auto unlocked essentially, right? To make that happen, we had to do some finagling behind the scenes on things because this was never done before, which is why
not like
you had
this.
to restart.
Yeah, not like this, but you guys did do it in Galaxy Quest, but it was different, which almost makes me kind of feel like this one wasn't originally planned. Like this must have been something that came a little bit later because
I would love to say that this was my idea, but some people that weren't me that were just some people were like, hey, let's do something cool and let's give a second Battle Pass to where it's going to auto finish and it's not something they have to earn a bunch of points for.
Let me ask you one thing that just may be.
And you said you weren't going to ask me a bunch of stuff like this. I'm off the clock. I didn't have these questions prepped.
No. Yeah, I'm praising it. I am simply asking, because you still have like 4 days left on the timer. It would probably be cool and more of a 6-year anniversary gift if you guys were able to figure out how to gift a token that just unlocked the top track, the free track for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like for the record, I am totally 1,000% okay paying $20 for another duplicate Battle Pass. I don't think anybody who buys Battle Pass is not okay with that. I saw all the comments on the YouTube video. I saw all the comments in Discord today. People are talking about it being the best value in the game, probably the best $20 they've ever spent. It's a beautiful, great, wonderful idea. The only thing I might have suggested is, hey, as a 6-year anniversary to everybody, let's give the free track to everybody, right?
It's not an anniversary gift. It's an anniversary deal.
Exactly.
We were clear. We
And
figured that out.
by the way, I'm totally fine with it. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I think the only way you could have done that any better whatsoever, because it is fantastic. The only way it could have been done any better is that you gave everybody the free track. You know what I'm saying? And you're right, Paulo. It's not $20 for premium. It's $20 for premium plus free. I was just thinking, because they did do this once, right? And that's why I jokingly said, jokingly
for sure.
said that he made it worse, because they did do this with Galaxy Quest, and people loved it. They loved it.
I think it was... I don't know the actual reason. It's a great thing, and I can bring it back to the team. I think it had to do with the fact that, again, we were giving everybody a lot of points to unlock where they were at milestone-wise, or where like the current Battle Pass was, which made things a little trickier.
That I see,
because again, we didn't want to give a battle
Gotcha.
pass. We didn't want to give a battle pass that you had to, work on for the next, however many days on top of whatever else was maybe happening for the anniversary and Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah.
So that point distribution is, I think, what made things tricky. But that was really important to us.
You are absolutely welcome for staying up until 2 a.m, making a video on how to actually buy it, by the way.
Yeah, the verbiage was a little bit weird on it, but crazy.
Yeah,
enough,
that was the biggest thing we were concerned about. We knew it wasn't ideal, but it was the best that we could do with the time we had to get it out before the anniversary started, when the idea came up.
I personally didn't understand a lot of the confusion behind that, because I guess maybe it might have been where you and I had talked about it briefly, but I kind of understood that it was going to pop a new event after you bought it. So I didn't realize that there was confusion out there. Griffin was like, "Yeah, we got to put something out. There's confusion." So because they thought it was like a points pack.
It rewards up to milestone 20 instantly. It should have said it rewards up to milestone 20 in a new
battle pass. Yeah, I think people were thinking it was like a points pack.
That would have been better. You're right. That would have been better.
I think people thought it was a points pack.
That's definitely learning we can do for next time, just to make sure it's more easily understood what's going to happen if it happens again where you need to restart something to make the event pop kind of thing. You know what I mean?
It was cool though. I like that. I like
overall you would give it a passing grade?
Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah, that battle pass. I mean, that in and of itself was probably an A idea. Like A.
That's the best
I don't want to say A.
Game,
yeah, I don't want to say A plus just because there was one element I would have changed regarding the free to play track, but it was a brilliant move. And I mean, it's rewarding, and kind of like Matters was saying, it was a 6th anniversary deal, not necessarily a gift, but I mean, what a deal, right? By Grabthar's hammer, what a value, it was really, really good. So I really, really like that.
We still have the anniversary gifts going, with like the avatar and the officer shards in every single gift. And then if you complete the meta, you'll get the choice token like last year.
Which is exactly what I was going to ask. We made a video about that as well. Are you seeing much issue with regards to customer service, or do you feel like people have got it? For those of you who are curious about what he's talking about, the daily gifts this year. Let me ask you, Echo, that was one thing that I'd mentioned in the video, was just that there was one extra step this year. It was one extra layer to the anniversary gift. In years past, you guys have gifted out an epic officer. This year, you decided that you wanted to make it a little bit more rewarding based on engagement. And so there's like this 7-day meta going on. What was your thought process behind that creatively? Because by the way, I love it. I fully endorse it. There should be good engagement to get such a valuable gift, but some players are comparing ever so slightly to, well, last year I just had to click a button. Why do I have to? Why do I have to log in?
Right. I totally understand that. It was a way of, I wanted to try something different that made the anniversary feel like an anniversary week. Right. 7 days of gifts is really, really cool. Right. And like you mentioned, a little bit of engagement for a lot of really cool rewards.
You're the best. Give me hugs and kisses. You got hugs and kisses on it anyway. It doesn't seem to matter. You got hugs and kisses on it. Yeah, I think it probably was. Because, by the way...
Oh, okay. No, because I just wanted to try something different.
It's like an advent calendar.
A little bit more rewarding. It's like a 7-day login calendar. It's exactly that. And I just kind of used the tools we had to do some things that we've seen in other games and other places. And I felt like it was like something that helped make the week feel more like an anniversary instead of a one-off, here's your token, and then it's like, okay, well, what else? That's
I actually can't wait until see what the next one is, what the next officer.
That's just it. That's what I want to point out, is that it's not just an epic officer, because you're actually giving away, what is it, 6 days? Was it 6 or 5? I don't remember. Remind me.
It's 7 days.
7 days.
70 shards.
So yeah, I was gonna say, on top of the 100 shards of choice, you've got 70 more epic shards, which is practically a 70% boost on prior years as well. So I mean, really, truthfully, it's a better anniversary gift than what we've gotten in the past, because you're giving out those 10 epic shards each day. Yeah, kind of like an advent calendar, Omicron says. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Especially because it adds those rewards. I think it was also really, really good.
There's a lot of things that I tried this month. Some things went over great, just like that ship part SLB everyone loved so much.
Listen, the ship part SLB.
You notice that I changed those rewards instantly for the next run, right?
The ship,
some other things.
This is what Jules was pointing out. It was that you didn't really you missed the mark with the variety that was there. It's not that ship parts are not needed. It's just like previous grade, right? And uncommon isn't a big thing. If you had done current generational grade of rare, that would have gotten a lot different reception, I think.
Yeah. And that's something I think that I can think about for the next time. It's just where everyone is and things like that. It was just like everyone probably saw. There were some things that I wanted to try, because in your head when you're like a CM, you're like, oh, this would be cool and this would be cool. Mm-hmm. And then when you go to the actual execution of it, it's a completely different beast,
Oh,
right?
sure. Yeah.
And so like there are things I wanted to try because I, didn't want to just have like 3 events that everyone knew were coming every single day. I wanted to have consistency, but I wanted to showcase different things. And I knew that I was taking a gamble with some of those things being received well and poorly. And I'm lucky enough that everyone has given me constructive feedback on these things so that like with the ship part SLB, I could adapt.
I think one of the big things that I'm going to point out that the audience that I've seen over the last couple of weeks, Echo, is you've been very front and center. I think that is an admirable thing that even right here, you're saying, listen, I'm trying some stuff. Some of it wasn't going to land. I know there's some good with some bad. The fact that you've been very, very present in the community, I think that is a huge, huge thing. Some of the best arc runners that Scopely has have been very, very vocal and public. We've talked about Chicago. He comes out and he's one of the players' favorites, and AP, and so you're right up there because people know you, and it's a tangible, real relationship that people are able to come back and be able to talk to you here in the Discord, in the chat, and so forth. And when you're asking for that kind of feedback, first of all, they can see also the feedback being listened to in some cases.
One thing to ask for, it's another thing to actually do something with it. And that's amazing.
Yeah, being out there. Omicron says not being afraid of players makes us think that you actually care, and so I think that's a good thing. And I'm good with trial and error. There are some things that haven't worked perfectly, and other things that have done well. I think that it's really, really important for me to call out, and I just think it's a good bit of karma. You and I talked about this privately, Echo. The fact that you got to run the arc for Mastery, I find that to be a really like a closed loop kind of perfect circle kind of thing, because this was your vision 2 years ago.
It was such a rant. It was just a serendipitous moment, right? It was just coincidence. Like, we had that discussion, and then the team created the amazing thing that is the Independent Archives. I was not involved in the design of the Independent Archives. I wasn't. So everyone that says that this was my thing, it wasn't. Like, it is amazing, though. It's truly amazing that I could be a part of its release, and that players like it so much, and that it was everything that, you and I kind of envisioned when we talked about it 2 years ago. But I don't think...
You say you didn't work on it.
You yell at me for this all the time, DJ, but I don't think it's fair for me to get credit for something I didn't work on design-wise, right? That's Mr. Tiger. You know what I mean? Like, he deserves the credit for that. And if anyone watched the most recent video, Doman from the roadmap team, who's also a product manager, he was very hands-on with it. They deserve the credit for these things. I was just here to help make sure it got executed upon in game.
Well, the community is no stranger to how live ops integrates with game design, and I just think that it was kind of good omened. It felt good. There was fuzzy wuzzies there that you got to be the arc runner here for this, because it entails and includes a lot of QOL. And that was something that you always fought for as a CM, but really this whole mastery thing. And I know you say you didn't work on the design aspect of it, which is totally fine and fair. I acknowledge that. But this idea was born on this stage 2 years ago, and we know that there are certain staffers that listen and certain staffers that consult for ideas and things like that. And even if nothing was ever else brought up about it, somebody somewhere was like, ooh, mastery. I mean, they even used the word, right? Like, ooh, mastery. That's a cool concept. Let's start designing this. I think it is so cool that this kind of shows a little bit of power of the community, right? And because this was truly a feature that was introduced and asked for by the community, a long time ago. It probably took some time to get into the roadmap, but the fact that it did was kind of cool. Right? A lot of people very, very happy.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think it's super, super cool that, a lot of things this month are just, for the community, by the community in a way, right? With a lot of these quality of life features and the anniversary and I do get warm and fuzzies. It's just, and I'm bad at taking praise, DJ. I think.
Yeah, you are.
But I just want to make sure the people that were hands-on get the praise and not just, me, because I'm the person that's here front and center. And like you were saying, it's really cool that I'm here and that, it's always noticed when Arc Runner or, live ops people are being communicative. I feel like I'm cheating in a way because I came from CM and I already had these relationships with you guys.
No, that's not.
It's not cheating.
You guys, you people.
No, it's not cheating in any way, shape, or form. It's using your strength and capitalizing on your assets and relying on your support system. I think it's exactly the opposite of that, Echo. I think the fact that you came out here and you relied on the community and you interacted with the community and you asked for guidance from the community shows your humility. And it shows your genuine interest in making it a positive, enjoyable player experience. And I think look at the chat. I mean, we are seeing, for the most part, we're seeing that mentality kind of come back against, some people saying, hey, this was a fantastic arc, best arc of 2024, they're writing, aside from the regional solo leaderboard. All right, well, that's fair. Aside from the regional solo leaderboard, which I'm going to imagine you probably didn't have a ton of control over.
I didn't hate that.
I do.
I didn't hate that.
No, I
don't.
Listen,
I'm also in the ops bracket that I don't have to worry about things like that. So, like,
no,
it was just
I don't
something.
like you. I don't like you blaming sort of other powers that may or may not exist for that. Like, ultimately, this is my month,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not falling on a
okay.
sword. I got to make calls on things. I made the call to do the Starfleet Q recruit. That was my idea.
All right, I'm gonna. You know what? That one.
The shadow perceptions. That was my idea.
Whittle your head.
Right? Let's get everything straight here. That was my idea.
That's all
All
right.
right. So this whole Echo, it wasn't Echo's fault. He got told. No, it was my idea.
All right.
I thought it was cool. I thought it would be cool to do some. I thought it would be cool to do something like that where the only thing in there was Q. And I thought that it made it so it was very much, you get exactly what you're looking for.
That part is
and
cool.
now I know that was wrong, right? I messed up. Right? I'm taking that on the chin. I'm not saying I won't try something like that again in the future.
I think
but I have great information now about how not to do it.
Well, paid RNG is always a little bit risky anyway. But I said this to the community.
You are wrong. Just sit down and be wrong. You are wrong.
I said I'm wrong.
They're not a big fan of that one. I think for me, it was kind of easy to see the writing on the wall in some respects because we have a strike team style of crew this month. They're PvP. They're a set. They target a specific ship. This is essentially the next step in PvP strike teams, and every strike team ever, Griffin, has had this Ducat. We call it Ducat style. I mean,
for a reason.
Yeah, they started it with Ducat. All right.
In November 2022.
Yeah,
yes.
it started with Ducat. We call it Ducat style sourcing. He was the first strike team that was sourced this way, and Scopely has not looked back. That's why I say I kind of felt like maybe it wasn't your call, and we know that you like to follow on swords, and it's not a big deal. We love you for that. But I mean, Scopely has always sold strike teams. Always. So I'm not surprised to see this.
Not only are we celebrating the 6-year anniversary, we're celebrating the 2-year anniversary of Scopely not figuring out this is a terrible idea. And they hate it.
Funny enough, I actually was able to track down the person that originally did the Gold Ducat style. And I'm like, can you please teach me how to do this properly? Because I obviously completely messed this up.
Listen,
and they laughed at me.
Ducat,
no, they didn't laugh at me. They laughed. And then they were like, yeah, let me show you this.
No.
It's just, I have a lot to learn.
Ducat style wasn't proper either. Like, here's the thing. From a spender's perspective, there are players out there who are going to appreciate that kind of guaranteed return, okay?
What guaranteed return? I spent $100 and I got like 21 shards.
You got 10 shards in the pack as well.
So here was the deal, all right? And I had a chance. Listen, let's just call it for what it is. It was guaranteed 10 shards in a pack, and it was guaranteed 10 shards in the RNG pools. That was the minimum, all right? Meaning that the minimum was 20 shards for $100, which is the normal price tag, okay? That was the normal price tag. What happened in the RNG chest was that you had a lottery chance. That was it. You had a chance to get extra shards, but you were guaranteed, Echo, tell me if I'm wrong, you were guaranteed 1 shard per pull. Right?
Yes.
I mathed it on purpose that way.
That's right. That's all it was, guys. And that's why I say I wasn't a big fan of it, because it's the exact same pack that we always see. $100 for 20 shards with a lottery chance of getting more. But that's just it. We've done this for Ducat. We did this for Wayoon. We did this for Carol Freeman. We've done this for all of these PvP crews. I have never really liked it. But there are spenders who do like it. And for example, like I'm going to pull this on your screen right here and right now. This is why some players are okay with it. And this is why some players, I remember when we talked to Trader. Remember when she did Ducat? She got that lucky pull.
No, she did. She got
the lucky pull.
There's no way these odds are the same.
First hour of that being live, get the lucky pull.
There's no way the odds are the same as they've always been. I think that these odds are not as good as they were before. Am I right or am I wrong?
Oh, you're definitely wrong. Yeah, no, you're wrong.
I'm wrong?
Yeah, you might have gotten luckier, or you might have had some bad RNG on this one, but this was, guys, Ducat style sourcing, exactly the same, and we have always hated it. But there are going to be people who did buy and who would have gotten lucky, and they're going to come out and say, well, okay, that wasn't that bad. $200 got me a full unlock. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not that different. I think that it just is that undesirable to the general population. As Scalyback says, what about free-to-play? We didn't even have the solo milestone to fall back on. It was just paid.
That's the other thing that got me. Ooh, where's the SMS?
Sure.
Ooh.
Well, that's just it. All right. So when we're talking about this, and by the way, I think it's totally admirable and stand-up that you're having this conversation with us. This has never been a very popular sourcing. But as we've seen with Ducat, as we saw with Wayoon, as we saw with Carol Freeman, it's not terrible when it comes to people who spend. I mean,
I would say
people buy these packs. People do.
I would want to closely look at how I did this if I was going to do it again, to see if I could make it better. I'm not going to say here, I'm never going to do something like that again, because that's not fair. I'm going to be running arcs for who knows how long, and who knows what's going to happen in the future, right? But I think that there was a lot of learnings from my first attempt at this. It obviously wasn't the best. I think we could all agree, and I'm thankful for the feedback that I got. And I'm not even saying thanks for the feedback, I'll get back to you. I'm just saying, yeah, thank you. I can action that because I'm the one making that thing.
Well, that's fair. And I want to ask this question to the community, because I didn't engage. So let me make sure before I say it's the exact same.
Wow, thanks for supporting your friend, DJ.
What?
I'm messing with you.
Griffin, let me ask the question.
I said thanks for supporting your friend.
I obviously support you. Griffin, let me ask you the question. And chat, let me ask you guys, because now I did not buy. I didn't engage. Gabe, Echo, sorry. Echo.
It's okay. Everyone knows my name.
I was going to say, everybody knows by now.
Everyone knows.
I did not buy the Ducat style packs. I did not. All right. But let me ask, was there the guarantee in this one, guys? Like, if you bought the 6 packs, did you guys get the token for the 100 guaranteed shards?
No.
Oh, that's where you messed up.
The whole side of it is missing.
Yeah. Now, if you had done that, that probably would have improved the reception from the spenders.
We needed that.
Why did you take that out?
Because I was a dope. I have no good reasoning. I just was
Okay.
trying to do something I've never done before, and like I said, I went back for feedback because I messed it up. The math looked good to me. I was like, my logic was, oh, I'm taking out all the stuff that they don't want and just making it guaranteed this. You're guaranteed 20 shards. You have a chance to get more. This seems good on paper from all the stuff I saw when I was a CM.
Yeah, with that mechanic, we're guaranteed, I think, to get tier 2 at the $600 price point.
Right, which
and now we're only getting 1.
Right, and I messed up.
That's okay. You can just give us all a free pack for the other 100 shards. We'll be very happy.
No, absolutely not. You know what I can do? I can get you another 100 pack for the same exact thing, and you could try to get the $100.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. Wait, I think, hold on. This is Scopely's infamous interpretation of feedback. I do not believe that's what the community is asking for. But
Darth Vader, pray I do not alter the deal further mentality.
Yeah. That one was a little bit of a challenge. I didn't even realize that the guarantee token wasn't there.
Did the Ducat style have the chance of getting 100 shards?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember.
Then I really just messed this up. Listen,
this one was missing that.
Don't know what else to say.
Okay. So
that's okay.
Let me ask this, and maybe you can't say, and I know it's been 5 minutes, so I'm going to release you after this. And if you need to go before answering this question, then that is totally fine, because I know that you guys are not yet prepared to release what could be happening on weekend 3. Should players be looking at some opportunity for progression in week 3?
I think you should just ask Hammy that, right? He's the CM. He communicates all the scheduling stuff, right?
I'm not asking for what the rewards would be or what the officer would be, but if you... all right, you know what?
I have no comment on this right now.
I'm not going to push it because I can see
exactly. I got no comment, and I've eaten once in the past 2 days. All right, listen, I'm on a hair trigger right now.
Oh wow, he's really
wiry. He told me earlier. He was like, "All right, I've had 4 Red Bulls. I'll give you 5 minutes."
I was going to say no more Red Bulls.
I literally drank a full Monster Energy drink about an hour and a half before I got in here. I'm like sweating in my chair.
Oh, perfect.
He's having heart palpitations, guys. As is probably Scopely legal, because this wasn't a sanctioned interview. But it's okay. Everything will be completely fine. Community, Candy White says, holy lordy, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, now go kick that 60-yard field goal. Absolutely. Guys, let me just take a minute to thank. We didn't even formally start the show. I have not done a show announcement, but Echo, your voice has drawn almost 200 people into the live studio audience, and we haven't even announced that we're doing a show. So thank you very much for coming out and spending a few minutes with us. Thank you for
Echo,
for being present.
By the way,
thanks for being present.
Thank you for single-handedly fixing the Kirshara artifact as well. We also really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, me single-handedly with all of my coding knowledge fixed that.
Well done, man.
Yeah, listen, that one I can probably safely say he had absolutely nothing to do with. But
you're on a roll, Echo. Good job. Keep going.
Retrieving asked this question. Yeah. Retrieving asked this question: can you put the Kirshara artifact shards back in the Alliance Tournament store? I will answer that question for you. It has been reported, it has been requested, and it is not happening for this run of Alliance tournaments. Let me say that I made a very stinky noise about that today, and I've got multiple people that had conversations with me about it and understand my positioning. Here was my position. Echo, tell me if this sounds familiar even from your CM days. All right. My position was simply that, hold on, let me go find it here.
And I quote,
players deserve the opportunity to grind it out or start the grind process. It's still paywalled content that was launched in this store as grindable, and people starting to invest their currency from paid tasks into it, and then it was removed, basically nullifying their paid investment into the event. It needs to return even in its imperfect form. However, yes, I agree, side note, it's more broken than it was last week. But then again, so are so many things that still exist in this game. Now,
that's why
you let me leave before you brought all this up. We were on such a high note with all this stuff. We were in such a happy place, and we were like, "Hey, let me bring up the gotcha."
I put a happy face. I put a laughy face next to it.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
But here was the thing. It was just simply the perspective of frustration from players who have progressed.
DJ, what is wrong with you?
Sorry, it's just.
Oh my god! Oh, that actually wasn't Beck. I thought that she came. Oh my god, that actually got
every
me.
time it makes my heart skip. I'm like, I'm in trouble.
Seriously, I was like, am I gonna get in trouble?
It just is from the frustration of the perspective of frustration that players were able to progress. That which was allowed to be started. And as long as Kirshar is missing from that store, then the currency that was spent, and therefore the money that may have been spent, or the game resources, or the actual cash that could have been spent on obtaining that currency, is essentially a sunk value. And I think that it has to come back. That being said, I had a number of conversations today, and I had a number of people understand that perspective. And I was told, okay, we hear you. Didn't realize it was quite so serious in your mind. And obviously it's not going to happen this time, but we will absolutely have a serious conversation about it coming up. So I want to say that no official anything has been stated other than I am allowed to tell you that it will not be back for this one. Okay? So it will not be back for this one. Patrick, you have a question. Okay, hang on. We really got to start the show. Patrick says some tasks cannot be completed. I'm going to ask Patrick, would it happen to be the one with Chaos Tech? Because I also, thanks to Tarpy, have solved that one. And we have updated our Alliance task list to make sure that players are aware. Listeners of this community will have the answer. If it is a Chaos Tech one, all right. As a matter of fact, Echo, you'll remember this. Do you remember when we ran the Summer Hunt, the Heroian Hunt series, and we had the issue with the avatar when you were running the Armada? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, it's the same bug, okay? Your Chaos Tech has to be on your lead ship. It has to be on the most powerful ship, because it's the first one that procs. So here's what happened. We had somebody running Chaos Tech, but it was on their second or third most powerful ship in the solo. They didn't get credit. I asked them to go back in and run a solo Armada with just one ship, and it scored. And then I asked them to run an Armada with the Chaos Tech on the largest ship and then just two baby ships, and it did score. This is a bug. I reported it today when Tarpy brought it to me. Thank you, by the way, for doing that. As soon as she mentioned the report to me, I knew exactly what it was, Echo, because we've had this problem with Armada scoring in the past. So shout out to Tarpy and Filthy Grinch for escalating this issue and doing some great testing with us today. We were able to definitively and 100% prove that and provide the data to Scopely Engineering so that they are working on it. And Jules and Tarpy updated our task list, which I am going to share with you guys tonight. Caledon, don't worry. I'm going to share it with you tonight that if you're going to do the Armada Chaos Tech task, it must be on the largest ship in your Armada. So hopefully, Patrick, you haven't replaced that task yet. Hopefully you didn't lose that. If that task is still active, then you can indeed still go complete that task. You just have to run the Chaos Tech on your largest ship. Carissa says, easy fix, just have Chaos Tech on all three ships. Can't do it because it was a specific one. It was just the one, and now I can't remember what it was called.
Temporal conduit.
Thank you.
Cannon, thought maker.
No, it was the conduit. It was specifically with the conduit, and you can't put that on more than one ship. So it had to be on one. It was just the one Chaos Tech, which was the conduit, and it has to be on your largest ship. So there's you a PSA, Patrick. Hopefully that got to you before you lost out on that task, but you will be able to complete that task if you follow those instructions. Okay, there you go. And I
want to go now before I get yelled at.
Yes, I was getting ready to say. I wanted to answer that.
To come here, say hi, and thank everyone.
You're doing a great job.
Like, what about this? What about this? And you get me talking about the Starfleet Q got recruit. the thing that is going to be the most divisive. And you made me talk about it.
Oh, no, it's not divisive in any way, shape, or form. Divisive, yeah, I was going to say divisive implies that some people liked it.
Bugs.
And you give me just one thing. And the title of the podcast is Eco Ruins Everything.
I was joking. I know. I made the stage. Echo ruins everything.
Oh, my gosh.
We didn't even bring up the SLB issue.
I did.
Listen.
I did. You were puffing the pipe by that time. So, no, we are not doing a side-by-side of mine and Echo's cars. That is not happening. Juby,
that would be hilarious.
Oh my God, get out of here for this.
Come back to LA and we'll do it. Drive
Quality.
drive over.
I'll just
drive over and down.
Drive over. No. But I am planning a trip here before too awful long. And so I might stop by. We need to cook again.
What are you going to California?
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. That was fun. Hey, before I let you go, and this is not even a game question, just a funsy question. Next time I come out to your house, what are you going to cook for me? Because last time, community, I was out there, dude. I prepared a feast for Mr. and Mrs. Did.
Echo.
I will say he did.
I did. I cooked. It was so good. So what are you making me next time we go out there? And if you say quesadillas, I'm going to slap you right in the teeth. No.
I'm gonna get us some Big Macs so you can feel like you're in your car again.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know what you do? You make a few different kinds of chili and then several different kinds of things that go with chili, like French fries, chili dogs, whatever.
Yeah, like a chili bar. That's actually a cool idea. All right.
I actually know how to cook, and I am in charge of always Christmas and Thanksgiving dinner because me and the missus celebrate those two holidays.
Yeah. So you can cook. So seriously, what are you going to make?
We always have salmon because the missus is a pescatarian.
Okay.
So I can actually cook salmon, and I make very good garlic Parmesan mashed potatoes and Brussels sprouts or asparagus.
Yes. Okay. Love it. All right.
So
there you go.
I can actually cook some things.
I'm looking forward to it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get too deep, and I know that he is tired, ladies and gentlemen, this month's Arc Runner and former community manager, the gentleman responsible for everything you love and hate about the Q Continuum Part 1, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend, Live Ops Product Manager, Echo, everybody. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. Good job, Echo. You're doing good, buddy. Keep it up.
I can't thank everyone enough. Thank you all for being the best community I could ever hope to be a part of.
Oh, you're sweet. You're sweet, dude.
Very
Appreciate you. All right. Get off the stage before we end up keeping you here.
Yeah, and keep asking me things like, so let me ask about this SMS and why it stinks. Can you tell me why you did that? It stinks.
No.
Oh, wow.
All right, we did.
Did you forget the token? You absolutely suck.
There we go.
Where's the token?
We're missing the token.
Yeah, there's no token. All right.
Okay, I'm leaving now.
All right,
buddy,
bye.
have a wonderful night. Get yourself some sleep. All right, seriously, go get some.
Thank you.
All right, good evening, everybody. Appreciate. Who's ringing the doorbell?
Oh, that would be the theme song to the show.
Oh.
Let's go. Come on.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the show. How is everybody doing? Yeah, we're live. Oh my goodness. It's appropriate now if I go ahead and post the show announcement, right? I should go ahead and do that. We have been on for 49 minutes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and post it.
Don't bother. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. You just
I got it. Everyone, we're going live. Tonight's topics include. You know what? Let's just do it like they would on a live talk show, like the announcer. Tonight's topics include the return of Alliance tournaments, a new look at the AT task list and rewards, the 6-year anniversary Battle Pass, of which we will give one away tonight. Let's see what else we want to talk about. The Transporter Store. And there was one other thing on my list. Parkman says that was the worst stupid news ever. I know. Jodrell says, wait, when are they going to approve Alliance tournaments? God, you are grumpy, dude. Are you trying? By the way, shout out to Jodrell because I got a DM from him. Let me see if I can find it real quick. After I was joking with him about how much he hates PvP arenas, he sends me a DM. By the way, he sends me a DM with his 50 stream streak, Griffin.
Okay.
He was like, hey, here's my information for the 50 stream streak. LOL. Arenas are still trash. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Yes, thank you.
All right.
I got it. You're right. I've been busy. I haven't had a chance to answer you yet. All right. Ladies and gents, let's get it on. And I'm going to copy and paste this out if you'll just give me a second. And then we'll be back to a Talking Trek server sound off. So you guys go ahead and start that in the chat right now. And I will read it as soon as I publish this. Boom. Publish. Confirm. Go. Uh-oh, something went wrong. I'm going to go put it over here. Put it there. Yep. I'll put it here.
Jason on server 44. Aquila Hawk on 21.
Thank you.
Don't worry, I got this.
All right, good.
Ruby on 61.
Yeah.
Hector on 11. Pop the Smurf on 61.
Yeah.
Moon Whistle on 29. Moon Whistle, you're always first. What happened?
Yeah, he was. We caught him off guard.
Higgins on 16. For Barrage on server 9, and the song's over.
Yeah.
Now look what you've done.
All right, I guess the publish worked there because it's not showing publish anymore. Good evening, everybody. Zero G's on 29, Silver Tab on 40, White Wolf 33, Floyd on 21, Game Junior on 30, Sir Tail on 36, Otter on 69, 7 of 7 on 137, Odysseus on 11, and so many more. Thank you guys so very much. There's literally over 100 more messages in the Talking Trek server sound off, and we've just done the show so weird today. Anybody listening to this in podcast is going to be like, wait, what is happening? The order of operations here tonight is quite odd. But thank you guys very much for being here. My name is Ultimate DJs. This is Griffin over there. He's green.
How you doing?
Again? Yeah, you're green. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Appreciate you guys all being here. Happy 6-year anniversary. That's where we are. Yeah? No, you know what, Guru? I'm not going to edit it because I think that if I'm just going to maybe pat myself on the back for a second, I think that is one truly amazing attribute of this show. We don't cut anything. Nothing is edited. You guys get like everything, okay, it's funny. Not that I'm going to get, no, I probably shouldn't even say this. You always just get everything. You know what? Joe Rogan agrees. All right. Joe Rogan says we don't edit anything. Like it's one take. What happens is what happens. Because that real type of radio, that real type of communication, that real type of messaging is important. Like that's what people want, So that's why we really don't ever edit anything. The only thing that I've really ever edited would be language because of our rating system. If I need to go in and put a beep or something like that, I'll do that. But really, no, I don't ever take stuff out. Night Diver says, Joe Rogan, do we listen to him? It's a low bar. Well, he's the #1 podcaster in the world.
In the world.
Yeah. So,
and that's, you have one other thing in common with Joe Rogan is that you both have 4-hour podcasts. And so not only is he raw and authentic, there's one other reason why we never edit anything around here.
Yeah. Not enough time. No, I mean, you might like his podcast or not. He's the #1 podcaster in the world. It's kind of crazy. Can you imagine? We're excited that our podcast has 1.3 million downloads. He gets 1 million downloads on every single episode. Like
he does indeed.
He does. It's crazy. So yeah, it's wild. I've been really enjoying while we're promoting some other podcasts. I've really been enjoying the Sackhoff Show. Griffin, you and I talked about that with Katie Sackhoff from Battlestar Galactica and Mandalorian.
We did indeed. She's a great conversationalist.
Oh, dude, she is so fun on her interviews. And I've really been enjoying that show. I looked at her show that she interviewed Jonathan Frakes, 270,000 downloads on that one episode. I mean, that's crazy. She's phenomenal too. So, yeah, I really enjoy what we do, and so yeah, this one was weird. It's gonna feel off and unique, but that's cool. We're gonna roll with it. That's right, Starbuck, man, she's great. We're gonna roll with it. So we had Echo. We only had him for a few minutes, and I didn't want to get into a bunch of stuff, so I just grabbed him and we did our thing, and then we'll get into the show. So I do appreciate everybody being here. Sorry that it's a little bit of a later start. I did, in fact, actually fall asleep. I did not mean to. Griffin, I wrote a script. I wrote a script to come out here and record a video. I've actually got 2 videos that I want to record. And funny enough, I'm going to show you, I have not claimed any of my daily gift chests or anything because I wanted to record a video surrounding this. So I have so many things undone right now in my game that I was going to do earlier, and I'm like, no, I'm going to do it later because I want to record a video when I do it, and then I fell asleep. So I'm very sorry.
Well, while you've been napping, I've made 2 more videos. No problem.
Did you really? Well, we should coordinate. There's no reason for us to do the same thing.
I'm on a roll.
You have been. By the way, check out the Teaching Trek YouTube channel while we're promoting other products. Dude, Green Griffin has been all over it this week.
Yeah, we're on it.
Yeah, Johnny 5 says, oh, weird, DJs need repairs. Yeah, I got cracked. And there is another video.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's a video out. I did indeed get cracked. You guys want to check that out very quickly? I got to be honest with you. This is the strangest soundtrack that he has chosen here so far. This one might be the first one that I didn't really like.
Oh, it's a little 80s retro.
Yeah, like 8-bit. Yeah. 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 I did get cracked, and I got rated. It's just... Yeah, I know, Skeletor, kind of weird. Here's why he posted this one. He only got 1 or 2 scoops, but he was so proud of the fact that he got me. Now, here's the deal. Hey, Hunter, what's going on? Welcome in, Hunter. Thank you. What's going on, Raiders? How are you? Welcome into the show. Appreciate you guys being here. Hope you guys had a great stream tonight. Here was the reason that he was all super proud of himself for rating me twice in 30 minutes. This was on the day of the Texas Class Hostel Q event.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I wasn't going to go up there and wait for auto grinding. It was the end of the day. So I had to go up and actually grind the hostel. So it dropped my shield. And then he just kept tapping me over and over and over again. I probably don't have this. Let me just look in my battle logs. I bet you he cracked me. All right, so here's one. Yeah, I bet I do have all these. Look, he just kept after me constantly throughout the day. Look, this is when I'm trying to do my event. Jonathan Ingram. Okay? 1, 2, 3 taps within an hour. And then 30 minutes later, not even 20 minutes later, comes and taps and scoops again.
Hold on.
There's another one. All right, 4 hours before that. Okay, so yeah, he was all over me that day. It was like, hey, DJs has to do an event that's going to drop his shield. We are just going to hump that bass. All right. We're just gonna, it's all about that bass, humping bass. That's what he should have made the song. All right. He went, I know, Adam, relocation tokens, but I was doing so many other things. I didn't have a ton of time, which is why I didn't auto grind it. I didn't have a ton of time, so I was trying to get a bunch of stuff done all at once. And besides, there is no defense against Jonathan Ingram ships. I'm sure that we have established this. There is no base defense that is going to stop this crew. It is $52 billion on a tier 14 Crenshaw.
Oh boy, that's
okay. There is no stopping this. Well, a shield. Noon Whistle, you're not hearing what I said. Yes, a shield, but I was grinding Texas class, so the shield kept falling. All right. There's nothing stopping this. Okay. Yeah, that's right. There is nothing stopping that. So, shout out. I was going to send him a message and be like, dude, could you just let me complete my event? And I was like, oh, no, you know what? That's considered fan mail, and that would be whiny. So I didn't do it. I didn't send him anything.
Well,
even though I was slightly eensy teeny weeny frustrated that I couldn't finish my event. I was just like, by the way, I don't know if it's in my battle logs. Eventually, I got so frustrated with it that I just left my shield down, and he raided me for about 6 minutes while I finished my event. I don't know if that's. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, that's probably it's right here. This is what happened here. I was just finally like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not even going to throw a shield back up. So I'm just going to. I let them raid for a couple of minutes while I finished my event. And actually, this one doesn't look like it was the Texas class event. It looks like it was the PvP event, which makes it even worse. This was the PvP event because I can see here. You know where I went to do my PvP event was. Where did I go? I don't remember. Freebooter Space. I went to Freebooter Space to do. I don't think that's where I was. Axote, is that Freebooter Space?
For the Rialto event?
No, it was global. You could do it anywhere. Space. Yeah, Freebooter Space. That's where I went to do it. He was just checking on your base's extended warranty. Axote, whatever. That is where I went to do my. Oh, cool. Hey, has anybody been running into this bug here? This bug over the last couple of days. This bug drives me to drink. This is a new one, Scopely. If you guys want to clip this, anybody getting this? If you're attacked in a station attack, you have to reboot the client before your repairs will actually go in. So I'm gonna have to reboot the client, then speed up these two ships, and when I repair the next two, I'm going to have to speed them up again. It is exclusively on my base getting hit, and you can't speed them up. I'm stuck in warp. It looks like I'm in warp, or in battle. Swimbot says no because I use shields. This is relatively. This is not a new bug, but it was fixed, and now it's back. All right. So I will have to reboot my client 4 times to repair my ships. This one is very annoying. I don't like this one. Anywho, enough about stuff I don't like. Good evening, commanders. How are you? Let's talk about Alliance tournaments. All right. Yeah, that's right. All the best bugs come around eventually. That's right, Adam Rambles. Let's talk about Alliance tournaments. Interesting stuff. I've got data for you guys tonight. Let's take a look at the patch notes, which, by the way, all were accurate, even though I might have personally misinterpreted one. I might have misinterpreted one of the lines that was in the patch note that specifically said we've added more tournament credits to more tasks.
Oh, yes, you did.
In my mind, what I was kind of thinking was, okay, they've added more credits into the tasks so that people could go in and spend more stuff in the Alliance Tournament store. That's not what happened.
Are you sure? Because I was looking at some of those mid-level ones, like I messaged you, and there does seem to be, it's a smaller amount, but in some of those mid-level ones, you are getting credits where you didn't before.
So let's take a look at the data presented by Tarpy and Quazel and Jules and Blue. Ladies and gentlemen, there were indeed faction credits added, but not to any existing task. They added to new tasks, these new tasks that just got started, okay? The new tasks that just got started that were introduced for the first time this time did have an increase in the number of faction credits that were applied, but they didn't modify any of the previous ones. Here on your screen, and I'll throw this in the graphics room, the time is 9:50 p.m. Eastern time. You will see this chart correlated and gathered. These are the... Oh, this is not the right chart. Daggone it. Hang on. That's not the one that I wanted to show yet. Hang on. Delete. I'll get to this one in a second. This was for the store rewards, because that was another thing. The price of items changed in the store as well, Griffin, which, by the way...
that inflation again. The stupid election, right?
No, I actually... Listen, we knew that there were a few things that were not quite the right price last time. We knew that. We're going to talk a little bit about those. Jules kind of put together a list. I'm going to have to pull the Alliance Tournaments Google Sheet. Hang on one second. Let me pull this up for you guys.
Oh, please hold.
Yeah, I thought... Stop it. I thought that I had it up. Jules sent me some materials, but this wasn't the specific one that I was looking for. So that's all right. I've got it. I've got it here. Boom. See, that didn't take that long. Here we go. The Alliance Management Services and Tournaments spreadsheet. For those of you who are curious about this, the link is in the graphics room, same timestamp as before, and I will post this up in the Twitch chat for you guys to download this if you guys would like. It is pinned in the Twitch chat as well. If you take a look at the tournament task list, we have new tasks. We do indeed. And when the tasks were added, we are going to see an increase in the number of tournament credits that were added for those, okay? So we're going to go through this list again. I don't think Jules is going to be able to make it tonight, but ladies and gentlemen, as is his faithful companion and newest addition into the Talking Trek Laboratory, ladies and gentlemen, Tarpy is on the stage. What's going on?
Tarpy.
Hey guys.
Happy Thursday.
Tarpy, after you did all that mind-crushing math and science on the battle passes, the laboratory was just screaming for your involvement, saying, listen, she can do all the math nobody else wants to do. You do. You just take time on math. Like you do this for a living, though, right? Like, don't you do math and science for a living, right?
I avoid spreadsheets in my everyday life.
Well, can't tell. Yeah, you act like I just absolutely love them in your spare time. Like you don't avoid them. You don't get to do them enough because you love working on these. But there are a couple of new tasks, and Jules sent over this data, which I am sure that you're going to have to be able to walk through some of it. I know Jules was a lot more detailed on some of the stuff that had changed in the Alliance Tournament store, which we're going to talk about. But there were some new tasks that were added. Are you able and prepared to talk to us tonight about the new tasks that were added? What was new?
Yeah.
What took Scopely 60 days to relaunch this feature?
Well, I can't answer that.
Okay.
I mean,
what are the new tasks that were developed in the last 60 days?
So if you Control F while you're looking at that screen for anything that says mirror or MU, so it will come up with the mirror related tasks. So there's exactly what they put in the patch notes. Actually, there's a loot goblins task. There's a hit MU hostiles, just in general task.
Yep, there we go.
There's an MU wave task. And see, there's an independent archives task. There's, so yeah, just really the stuff they told us they were going to add, they added.
Wait a second. What is column E? Please tell me that's not tournament credits. It is, isn't it?
Yeah. No, that's the amount that you do.
You
so like,
or spend or whatever.
Oh, okay. Because I was getting ready to get really grumpy. I was getting ready to say, wait, 20, 10. Okay, so I see it here. So this is, for example, Mirror Universe waves would be complete 10 waves. You get 750 alliance points. Here, Mirror Universe Hostiles, you got 20 Hostiles, 1,500 alliance points. Here's another one. Here's another Mirror Universe Hostile. Got to kill 40 of them, 3,000 points. These are very grindable, by the way. Mirror Hostiles, 5,000 points for 80. By the way, which is totally possible in one run, by the way. All right. So, I mean, that's still only one run. And then I think those are the only ones I'm seeing. If I did, I typed out mirror.
Right under where you just had the 80 mirror hostels, right under that is Enterprise E hostels. So those are the specific
the loot
goblins.
Yep. Yeah, right here. Enterprise E hostels, kill 3 of those, 5,000 points. All right. So now Cruzito says 60 days to do that. Pitiful. Now, I don't want to say that they were dedicated to this during the 60 days. I think that, Griffin, there was a lot of stuff that they were working on. I think Arenas probably has sucked a lot of bandwidth out of the reiteration team on this. Not to mention that I know some people who are working on this, and they've been working on a couple of other tasks right now, getting ready for an arc that is coming up. So there's probably not been a ton of bandwidth available, Griffin.
Well, I mean, the post that Beck laid out on the other background enhancements are also noticeable when you're playing Arena Tournaments per day, and I think they all add up to a net positive experience.
They do. They made some changes with the UI, which was necessary. Okay, that was definitely necessary. I think that there are other things that we missed out on. Cruzito is again rightfully asking about Kirshara, buddy. I'm firmly in your camp on that. You're a little bit late because we talked about Kirshara here about 20 minutes ago, and how I'm very firmly in that camp to get that back. And I am slightly optimistic. But I will tell you, it's not going to happen for this run of Alliance tournaments. All right, Cruzito. So if you missed that, there's the DJ's notes. It's not going to happen in this run, but they know that I'm representing a growing frustration when it comes to partial investment into that, especially after week 1, which was the most expensive run. All right, I mean that was the most expensive run of Alliance tournaments. Was the very first run, and that is where people made some investments, and it's no longer there. I mean, it feels not good. So I get that. Now, Odysseus says, I don't know about you guys, but spending over an hour re-rolling task is beyond boring. I don't necessarily disagree, but I think there's a little bit more of a science to that. Matters was talking about this last time it ran 2 months ago, and we can talk more with him and Tarpey about it. I actually have enjoyed running the rerolls because I know that my team, right, Karkin? I know that my team is hunting a specific group of tasks.
Absolutely.
So, we are working together to kind of work on getting everybody a specific set of tasks. And by the way, for the record, I know that this is a G6 thing, but I am very much liking the acquired G6 materials, given the fact that we have choice tokens from the Battle Pass. All right, that to me, that was a big one. All right, that one was absolutely massive to me because that made all of those credits and made all of those rerolls very, very free. All right, so now I know that's exclusive to G6, all right? But if you're a G6 player, there is no reason you should not have 30,000 points a day. Absolutely no reason.
You just got to roll for them, find that G6 material.
You just got to roll, and you got to find it. Now, Jonathan Ingram says, you enjoy restarting the client after each reroll? No, and I don't have to. Do remember that the refreshes do take approximately, and this is by design, they take approximately 30 to 60 seconds. If you can sit there and stare at it, which I don't, I'll hit the refresh button, and I'll go do a couple of other tasks. All right, not tasks, sorry. I'll do something else. I'll go queue up Kirshara again if I'm killing hostiles, or I'll throw a shield, or repair ships in the case of my gameplay, right, Jonathan Ingram? So, and then I'll come back into that interface, and the refresh has been complete. You don't have to refresh. But, yeah, usually 30 to 60 seconds. Jonathan Ingram says it didn't refresh for 5 entire minutes today. Okay, I haven't experienced that, but I'm also going to offer potentially a thought, all right, because I did see some of these reports, all right? I was actually, crazy enough, relatively active in dev chat today. So tell me if this is possible, Jonathan Ingram. You're looking at your task list, you press refresh, you're waiting on it to come back because you see the empty spot now, right? We're all in agreement up to this point. Got to remember, especially in your alliance, there's 105 other people doing that as well. So if you saw, like you say, it took 5 minutes to come back, is it possible that another player had pressed refresh in or around the time you did?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You see, in almost every investigated case today, Jonathan Ingram said it showed 3 empty spots the entire time. I'm going to guarantee I know the answer to that. All right? You know why it showed 3 empty spots? Because most likely you guys had 3 10,000-point slots, and your team was actively refreshing those for the ones that they wanted, a.k.a. the acquired G6 materials. Okay? Now, I'm not suggesting that it wasn't without lag. I saw some scoring lag today. Retrieving says 10 minutes waited on MU waves to score. I'm not defending or saying that there wasn't any lag, okay?
Right. Mm-hmm.
But every documented case today, and there were a lot, all right? This is why I did science on the Chaos Tech Armadas, because there was report after report after report after report after report. I mean, just a ton of them. And I was actually a little bit available today, so I did a lot of testing on this stuff today. There was a ton of these types of reports, and almost every single time they were able to tell me, okay, well, player A hit the refresh at this time, and here's the time that specific slot repopulated, and then, going forward. Now, if a restart brought them all back, I'm still going to say that there's the possibility of just random timing there. That being said, it could have been a bug. What I'm telling you is every single engineering report that I got to look at today made sense. You got to remember, we're looking at 20 tasks, of which 100 people are pulling and refreshing as up to 12 times with no cooldown. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people there's a lot of task cycling there that some people may or may not ever even see the whole thing start to finish. So, but that being said, I'm not saying that there's not a problem. I'm just saying this is what I saw happening today, and it's happening a lot broader than I think people are realizing. That being said, it's also, Griffin, a part of the UI experience that they've probably got to try to handle. I thought about this today, and I made this suggestion. If I refresh a slot, then allow it, how it just shows blank? How about my name goes there? This was the task that I re-rolled.
Oh, that would be great if there's some identifier.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about that, and I dropped that in, and I'm sure that would be complicated. It's something that they don't necessarily want to do, but I think that would alleviate some of the confusion over, the tasks aren't coming back. Well, that's because you weren't the one that re-rolled that. Like, after you re-rolled yours came back in 60 seconds, but then somebody else rolled it, like, immediately. You see what I'm saying? Like, if they put
that makes sense.
If they put a name on the blank space, like, that's the one that Jonathan Ingram redid. Silvertab says a countdown timer till it refreshes. That is possible. Something like that. Something that identifies, that it is in fact working, like the process is working. Because I think, like I said, I personally looked at 8 or 9 different cases today, and in every single one, we did not find evidence of a failure to refresh. Yeah. It was just so much activity going through. Constantly. Sanguinator says, so what you're saying is that it's poor conceptual design and not poor engineering. Yeah. Well, I think that's fair. There's not enough of a visual cue there to let people have confidence in the process to know that it's functioning. Jonathan Ingram says, I would go one step further, DJ. I don't think it's a failure to refresh server side. It's a failure to display on the client. And that is also possible because all of the testing I did today was on PC. All right.
They could restrict the newest talent or task from being able to be refreshed for 30 seconds so that it can be seen before it's disappeared by someone else.
I don't know if I like that, to be honest with you, because that is going to slow down my refresh already. Like Jonathan Ingram, in my case, okay, this is how I do mine. And my alliance may not like it, although I think we know what tasks we're looking for. Right? We have a specific number of tasks that my alliance says, hey, if this one pops up, leave it for somebody in case they want to do it. Right? We have like 3 or 4 tasks, Karkin, right? Maybe 5 of the 10,000 point tasks that if we see it, we leave it alone for somebody else to pick up. Might not be for me, might not be something I want to do, but I'm going to leave it. For example, the G6 uncommon one, okay? I would want that one. Any G6 player in my alliance wants that one. So if Karkin re-rolls that one, he can't do that one, but he's going to leave it for me or any of our G6 players. If I roll a 10,000 point task that is one of the grindable ones, like, for example, Epic Borg solo directives, okay? Acquire this. If I roll this one, acquire 500 Epic Borg solo directives, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's not one that I'm going to do. But if that one pops, I leave it there for players like Karkin or other players in my team who can't do the G6 ones. So we have a list of tasks that no matter who rolls it, they leave it. That being said, I will refresh 3 or 4 or 5 tasks at a time. So I don't like the artificial time gate put on it, Karkin. I might want to go up there and just do 4 or 5 at a time. But what happens? What happens if Captain Bull is doing the exact same thing I'm doing at the exact same time?
That's what I mean. That's where I think it would be advantageous. Because, so imagine, you do your 4 or 5 refreshes, and then you're waiting for it to come back. But he may see it before you do and be like, oh, no, that's not one. So you don't even get to see the ones that you refreshed. If there was like a 10 or 15-second timer so that you get to see it, before, like, people are saying that they have to refresh their game, but that takes like a good 45 minute. So it's ready to go as soon as they come back. It's not like it's a big hindrance.
Yeah.
But it would allow you to see it before Bull went ahead and reset it for himself.
Well, but here's the reason that I'm okay with it, because we're on the same page. Right? We all are in agreement over the tasks that we're going to keep and not keep. Right? So my team, I don't have to worry about seeing that reroll before it pops up, Karkin, because I know that if it got rerolled, it wasn't one that we wanted to do anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't one that I would have wanted, because we're in agreement about what we're going to try to keep. Jonathan Ingram says his alliance does something very, very similar. We will keep the free-to-play grindable ones, acquire materials, acquire 17,000 multiphasics, which, you know, for Jonathan Ingram, that's that's buying 1 pack. And if you're going to buy a pack, I mean, there's an easy one.
Someone's going to buy a pack.
All right, Jonathan will buy a pack.
Yeah.
The rest of the 10,000 ones can be refreshed, and that is very, very similar, Jonathan, to what we do. All right, very, very similar to the tasks that we keep and discard. So I'm not necessarily upset if I don't get to see my own rerolls. I think it's more important for the community to have confidence that it's working properly, and I don't think we have that right now, right? I mean, why would we?
I wish that we could go back in time and realize that this whole concept of the Alliance tournament would not have been affected in any way, shape, or form had that grouping of tasks, which are assigned and accomplishable, be an individual list like away teams instead of this shared list that they're all trying to pick and grab at the same time. I realize that will take a little bit of the strategy out and the communication out that you're maybe enjoying, maybe not. I'm not. But all of these bugs about who clicked what, how long do I have to wait, none of that had to be a part of this.
Well, like there's so many complaints on the official Discord of people like screenshotting their task list and saying like, this is terrible, I can't do any of these, and I have no rerolls left. But if their alliance was just, if they just worked together better and they managed.
See, that's exactly right, Matters. I'm worried about that, Griffin. That's the exact scenario that I think has to be avoided. If it's an alliance tournament, it's an alliance game, you've got to rely on your team to help you out a little bit. If you see a bunch of tasks that you can't do, and I see this in the chat, even right now, Retrieving says, for free to play, then the rerolls are precious commodities. Then lean on your whales. Do this, like we just talked about. In my alliance, we've got a 10,000 task list that we're going to keep, right? But it's unrealistic for us to think that all 100 members of our alliance are going to be able to do the 10,000 point task when they roll. So we also have the 5,000, the 7,000, the 8,000 point tasks that are the most easiest to do as a grinder, as a free-to-play, and we leave those as well. Because, listen, every time we refresh a 10,000, it's not guaranteed to return as a 10,000. So
it is not.
So my alliance will refresh things all the way down. I think, what was it, Karkin, to 5,000 or 6,000? I don't remember. 5,000? I think it's 5,000. We'll refresh all the way down to 5,000 for the good of our team. That's
today I actually saw half the page at 750, so I was like, boop, 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 and it ended up refilling with some different options, like some higher up ones.
That's why I'm saying I don't necessarily want a refresh cooldown, because I might drop 5 or 6 all at once for the good of my
refresh
team.
Cooldown on the newest ones for 15 seconds, not like a cooldown between refreshes.
Yeah, but then you're going to end up having an issue on, when can it be claimed? Or then you're going to have somebody scream about what they did claim, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that solves anything. If I'm just being honest, I don't think that solves anything.
No.
That is an example of us trying to fix something that won't solve the problem, and we yell at Scopely for doing that. I don't think that solves any problems. Go ahead, Tarpy.
So in a different game that I played with a really similar mechanic to this, they actually had like a bookmark kind of function for, I would like to do this task next. So even if it didn't flag that for me specifically, being able to say, hey, pin this one would be a really nice addition.
Yeah.
So then it would kind of flag it as a don't re-roll this, because I know that, a couple times when I was re-rolling while I was in the middle of that stupid acquire 55k protomatter task,
Whoa,
I saw a couple
you did that one? That's grindy. Holy smokes.
Yeah, but it was free, and it saves me a bunch of my battle pass rewards for more of the spend tasks later.
Cool. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, the fact that it's there, that's a subtle thing. That might have been grindy. Her fingers might have wanted to bleed, and she might have been grumpy about it, but she was able to. All right. And it was a 10,000 point task. That is the true definition of sacrificing one's personal well-being for the sake of the team. That is what alliance tournaments are. And by the way, Daystros, before you say it's only 40 Q trials, 40 Q's trials is a solid hour, probably more, an hour and 20 minutes.
Not really.
I am so glad you said that's what the alliance tournament is all about. Your quote, that's what the alliance tournament is all about. Tarpy made a selection. She did something that was grindable for her, and she had a maximum score. This is my point. All of that can still be accomplished without sharing this team list of tasks that you're all fighting for and you guys are all trying to solve a problem that doesn't need to be solved. You need to remember the world that you live in. Half of the people don't even like to talk to each other anyway. So why are we trying to force this thing where we have to communicate and chat? Oh, who's going to say this? Who's going to do that? And then the one person doesn't read the chat and they do it anyway. I mean, come on.
Griffin, the problem with what you're saying with everybody gets their own list is what NetNiv had in the chat.
Yeah,
where
what happens when that
G3 servers?
Yeah.
What happens when what?
So there's G3 servers that don't have G4 and higher ascendancy that get the acquire do MU hostels, for example.
Yeah.
No one on their server can do anything in the MU.
Okay.
No one in their server can do anything with Gorn.
Okay.
And they're getting tasks like that. So if you had no rerolls,
if they don't have the
your
refreshes,
entire task list.
That's right. Listen, and this is why I saw this. Carissa mentioned this. I don't like having to rely on the spenders to have the rerolls, and I get that. Carissa says, because I'm relying on players doing the 10,000 tasks to earn the rerolls because the lesser tasks don't have any. Agreed. The free-to-play are going to get 12 rerolls a day, okay? And I get it. I wish it was more. It should be more, but that's what they're doing. Free-to-play get 12 rerolls a day. Me personally, I am currently sitting on like 50,000 of those things because every task I do gets me 12,000. All right, because of the tasks that I'm choosing. But then I'm going back in, as Karkin mentioned a minute ago, I'm going back in as Tarpey is saying, is the necessary mechanic. The reason yours can't work, Griffin, is because I need a player like Carissa for them to get the best payout from this event. I want her to come and ask me for help with rerolls. I want my team to have a plan. I want my team to say, okay, if we reroll this task, we're going to hang on to it. But if it's this task, go ahead and slop it because nobody's going to do it. I like that level of strategy in this alliance feature. What you're suggesting makes it a solo feature, and I have to give you about as much support as you said going into PvP arenas at a 1v1. It's not the point. Like, that's not the point. It's a cooperative event. I like working with a team. The interaction and the co-op is what keeps this game interesting. Otherwise, it's just mining and stupid-ass triangles all day. I hate that. All right, give me something to work towards as a team. And I disagree, Cruzito. He says that ends in strategy. I disagree. My team has formulated a list. My team is communicating. We're working together. We know what our team wants to do and doesn't want to do, and we've got a scrap list and a do not scrap list. We know what we're doing going into this thing, and I think that is what makes this interesting. Me personally.
Yeah, I don't want to see it turned into just like a bunch of ticketed SMSs with like ALB meta. I like it. I like it how it is. It requires more engagement. It requires more interaction. And yes, some people do not get enough rerolls, and other people get way too many rerolls.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that works out perfectly. I don't think they need more rerolls than they're getting.
I would like for them to have that
they
opportunity.
Have ours.
It would alleviate some of the pressure on the younger players to get the tasks that they want to do to help their team. Tarpey, did you refresh the Proto Matter one, or did somebody pop it for you?
I think it was a mix of both. I mean, I'm in an alliance of 80-ish active people, so I can't know.
Well,
it was in the middle of the afternoon, so I really can't know.
I get it. And RBV, I like that idea. As a matter of fact, I've pitched that. I'm not necessarily suggesting that the free gift go up. He says there should be a smaller number of rerolls in the mid-range tasks instead of dumping them all into the 10K. I've actually pitched that. I think that's a good idea. I think that you should have a proportionate number of reroll credits. Like a 5,000 point task should have 6,000 rerolls. And honestly, I think it should do that all the way down. If you score 10,000 points, whether it's one task or a cumulative number of tasks, you should get 12,000 rerolls. That's my opinion. Now, Bransusi says the 5K task shouldn't be done. Well, that's up to you, right? You look at the task and decide what it is you want to do. I don't know. The 5,000 tasks are the brand new ones that they added that are grindable. Defeating Gorn, defeating Fed Hostiles, defeating Mirror Hostiles, defeating Loot Goblins.
Yeah, why not do them?
Yeah, those, for a grinder, those are not bad. Those are 5,000 point tasks that are relatively easy to accomplish.
Depends on your ops.
I was going to say, are those the ones that are more difficult higher ups you are because you have no punch-up capability, the 3 higher?
I mean, Sword is great.
For low ops, free-to-play grinders, that's their
Enterprise E-Hostiles are very, very possible. All right. Gorn one might be tough. I get that. And the reason that the Gorn one might be tough is this chart over here, the number of hostiles you'd have to kill. For example, if
Gorn would be easier than Zindi.
True. Yes. Right here. Gorn requires a punch up.
Gorn was the only one I can do. Because
you can punch up bigger.
Because I got the UC, I can get higher.
And Jonathan Ingram points out this is why some tasks are not for everybody. Guys, we've got to look at this and realize that, like, for example, the G3 can't do anything with G6 materials. Okay, acknowledged. All right. But G6 players probably should not, or at least advanced G6 players should not probably be doing the Gorn one. All right. Jonathan Ingram, for example. Yeah, and by the way, nobody over Ops 40 should be doing the Swarm one. Right? I mean, this right here, this chart right here is a perfect example. And I'll put this in the graphics room. All right. This is a perfect example of what you should or should not be doing when it comes to hostile grind, because this chart maps it out. The time is 10:20 p.m. Eastern time, and I put it in there. If you kill the same ops level as you, the bold number in the center is the number of hostiles you'd have to kill. So if you look at the Gorn one for 3,000 points, okay, you've got to get 800 hostile points. If you kill the same level as your ops, you'd have to kill 160 hostiles. All right. Now, if you kill one level above your ops, it drops to 100. If you kill 2 levels above, it drops to 62. If you kill 3 levels above, like Matters might be suggesting, then you can do it with 39 hostiles. All right. But take a look at some of these other tasks. And by the way, mathematically, they do scale appropriately. Look at the points. The 5,000 points require more hostiles than the 750 points, for example. That is an appropriate scaling. But somebody's going to look at this and be like, okay, let's look at Zindi, and I have to punch down 1 level. If you're doing Zindi and punching down 1 level, you would have to kill 534 hostiles. Let me ask, is that a task you should be doing if you cannot punch up? Me, as a 62, should I ever look at a Zindi task?
No.
No. Which is exactly right, Magoo. RIP if you're above the highest possible hostile, which means that task is not for you, which means either A, like RBV says, reroll, or B, leave it for your team. Now,
So
Wham says you could
these-
kill a 63. Okay, that's 1 level above. I would have to kill 200 of those, Wham. 200. And by the way, there isn't a 63. It's a 62, which is the same ops level as me. I would need 320. I can tell you, I'm not grinding 320 Zindi. Nope.
That's gross. Gross.
Not doing it.
Pass.
So these grind ones,
There are
They
tasks
added
for
a
different
few.
people. Yes, they did. Tarpy, let's go back to the new tasks. I don't mean to
Yeah.
spend too much time on this, but I want to come back and point out, again, just like we talked about last time, this is very, very important. Not every task is meant for every player, okay? That's why everybody just has the same bucket of roughly 100 or 110 or now 120 some tasks, because they're not going to target them. They're not individually segmenting these. It's one bucket for the alliance, which is why, Griffin, it can't be changed. That's
Whatever.
just simply it. All right.
Whatever. Well, then let me go on to my next gripe point.
Well, hang on. Tarpy, no, you don't get to gripe yet. Just wait a second. Tarpy, what are the new tasks? You said there were new grind tasks added as well. What are they?
so you can see the Elorians. So those are this month's hostiles are in there as well.
The
In the table you
the Elorians?
Yes.
in the table, the right hand table that you just screenshotted and put in the graphics room.
Okay.
With it's the big brick of text about 4 down.
Nexus hostiles.
Here they are.
Assimilated
5,000
Elorian.
points.
Nexus hostile.
Assimilated,
Yeah,
Corin,
so-
Prohibitor, and Froman class hostiles.
Yeah.
that it?
So
Okay.
that one is brand new because those are this month's hostiles. And a lot of us can punch up on those, or at
And it's a
least punch at our
5,000
level.
point task. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah. And they actually added, well, it can be a trap because a lot of us can't punch up. Yet, I'm sure. But they added a few more gradations of some of the other grind tasks.
Well, hang on one second.
So some of
I don't even necessarily think that is a trap task, Magoo, because even if you can only punch your level, it still only requires 80. That is not a slog. All right. Not like 320 is or 160. All right. If you can punch one level above your ops, it's only 50 hostiles. That, by the way, is a normal event. 50 hostiles. Now, Magoo says many can't kill their level. Well, that's fine. That's fine. But even then, one level down is 134, and that's not nearly as offensive as 534.
But aren't those by even numbers? So
Yeah, you gotta go
you'd have
down
to
two.
go-
You'd have to go down 200 then.
Yeah.
Still not 500. All right, just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
But
and a lot A lot of G5 and G4 probably have to go down four more. So, yeah.
Some people.
Yuck.
Oh,
Then guess what?
Listen to the point.
That's not your task.
That one's
then.
not for them.
Yeah. then listen, that's not your task. All right. So
but that leads to the point that I want to gripe about when we're done covering these new things, because it all works together. But go ahead.
So yeah, the last thing I wanted to add about that particular part of the table is they did add another Zindi one. They added another, I think, Borg one or Gorn one in the middle. So there's actually more options in that table from older loops than there were 2 months ago.
Which
so
is,
I thought that was a good addition.
It is, and that's part of what they were talking about doing, was coming in and adding a few of these tasks. Now, the big question is, all right, let's take a look at that 3,000 Gorn task. Does it pay credits? This is where I am getting a little bit fussy, because my understanding of those patch notes, Griffin, were that they were going to add more Alliance tournament tokens, and I'm not seeing huge evidence of that. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I read it too. I don't know what else that could possibly mean.
Well, even if you look at the new tasks that were added, this is what you're saying, right? Is one Tarpy the 3,000 point for the 800 points worth of Gorn? There's no tournament. That's a new one. All right, but there's no tournament
like you have
credits
to
there.
Spend something to be able to get the credits. Like spend export credits, spend this or that. That's when you get your little amounts of stuff.
For example, here's the new 4,000 one. No tournament credits. I get that, Karkin, but they specifically said we are adding more credits to more tasks. Well, if I'm looking at the new tasks that came out this month, I don't see any of them that have credits added in. Like, none of them. Am I missing something, Tarpy? Show me a new task that has tournament credits, because I don't see them.
This was kind of my problem because, I love volunteering for this kind of thing, but all of this is volunteer data too, so it's like none of this is stuff that Scopely gave us. I added some values in the tournament credits column for some of the tasks that weren't there last month or 2 months ago, but I don't know if that's because we just didn't have them 2 months ago. So if I added them because they're new today, yeah, I added some, but again, I don't know if it's because they weren't there and we just didn't type them in 2 months ago.
If you added them, that means they weren't there because we had an API list last month or 2 months ago. Okay. The chart that Jules had was 100% accurate. So if you added credits, then that means they did add credits. Okay. Then that's that. You know what? We probably should have highlighted, just note for future. If there's a tournament credit, let's make here in the tournament credits, let's do green if there was an increase, red if there was a decrease. Because if you added some, then that was added. Okay, so Tarpy is saying that they did add some.
Yeah. The way that we added the data, like just the way that spreadsheet is limited, it was hard to do what you just asked. But we can definitely make a column for that in the future.
Okay. Yeah,
if we know it's coming.
Yeah,
I can go back
through
the edit history. Yeah, exactly, RBV. I can look through the edit history, and I was talking with Quazzle about this afternoon. Probably should have thought about that. But we also wanted to get all of the data ready for tonight. So it was just a balance of, we already did a bunch of it.
Yeah, what we had time to do. All right, well, then that's good, because I did question them about that, and they were unable to provide me the exact list of changes. So if Tarpy is saying that she did add credits to some tasks, then that means that they were added. So we will probably be able to drill down on that in the future, but that does mean that there were some that were added. Yeah, nothing
it was
crazy.
300 or 400 each. Yeah.
Well.
So it wasn't to 10K tasks or anything that wasn't a new 10K task, but I think there was 1 or 2 tasks that were there 2 months ago that got 300 credits.
Now, Cruzito, I'm gonna debunk this one. Cruzito says they did add some credits, however, they took them away from upper levels. That is one I'm going to debunk.
No.
Okay, that did not happen.
I didn't lower numbers anywhere.
Yeah, that did not happen. And even Matters kind of realized the error of his ways today. You got to remember that different leagues offer different numbers of credits. Okay,
that's what was confusing me earlier. Yes, I forgot that.
Yeah.
Fact.
Yeah. Master League, Expert League, Adept League, they will pay less as you decrease in the rank for these points of tasks. No tasks were lowered. I can 100% guarantee that. No tasks were lowered. They did not take the tasks, the credits from the bigger tasks to add to the smaller ones. That was just a result of where you fell in your bucket as far as your tasks. Some people might have felt like it got less. In that case, they either were relegated this time or they were comparing against a chart that had master numbers on it. Vic says, suspicious. No, that's why we were tracking that. We discovered that last time 2 months ago. Jules will come out here and remind you that we knew 2 months ago that Master and Expert and Adept pay different amounts of tournament credits for the exact same task. As a matter of fact, Matters, I know that we talked about it because you were a little bit spicy about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was a little bit. I gotta say.
Your example was, why should my $100 get me less credits? For your paid task. Yeah. Well, it's because you were in a lower league. But I do see your point. $100 is $100, right? So there's two different arguments to that, but again, at the same time, I kind of see it. That's the point. That's the motivation for improving. That's the motivation for promoting your team and not being relegated. For example, in our bracket right now, there are 3 teams, it looks like, that are going to get relegated, and that would be concerning if I was in those 3 teams. All right, I would want to make sure that I'm not being relegated. I might not get promoted, but at the very least, we can't be relegated. All right? Can't do that because you will lose a great deal of your payout if that actually happens. All right? So do be aware of that when you guys are looking. And by the way, just as an aside, that actually does appear to be working, which was not working last time. So as far as a UI thing, I think that is really, really nice. They are accurately showing the alliances that are up for relegation. I have seen a few reports of duplicate players, just like we saw last time, but it's certainly not happening. It's certainly not happening at the degree of which we saw last time, and I still think that has something to do with players changing tags.
Has to be.
Yeah, because it's not happening nearly as often. But the Alliance tournaments leaderboards do seem to be, for the most part, much more accurate this month than they were last time.
Is it duplicate players? Because last time it was duplicate alliances. Entire alliances were duplicated.
Yeah, but I think that had something to do with a player scoring in that alliance. In 2 different alliances. Okay. Yeah. Jonathan's is weird. He says, my leaderboard shows only our alliance. Everything else is blanked out. No kidding. Hey, by the way, there was a client update this morning. I downloaded it. I don't even know what was in it, but make sure you're on that. There was an update this morning. Yeah.
I made a video about it. It's 9 minutes long at 2:00 in the morning. You never watch anything I do.
I didn't see you say that there was a client update.
I give up.
From the Play Store?
Yeah.
You did not say that. It was 2:00 in the morning. You might have forgot to. Maybe you meant to, but you didn't. I did watch the video, Vic. He didn't say anything about going to the iOS store and downloading a new client update, which, by the way, there is. All right. Fisty says, Griffin, could you post your own video channel, please? No!
That's what I thought.
All right. Yeah, I didn't think so. Wham says you missed it, too. He says you didn't post it.
I did so. When I talked about the new graphics for the stupid icons in the different app stores. It's okay. Do I get to complain that about my point? Do we go through all the new stuff?
All right, that's fine. Yeah, Otter says, that's it. Switching my sub to Griffin's channel. That's right, Dastros. He did say it. He's right, because he did talk about the icons. That's right.
I indeed did. Yeah, so to Garfi's point, all these wonderful new things coming into the Alliance store. I love all these new tasks. I think they're great. I think that's the spirit of what Alliance tournaments should be. Participation, go out there, do a task, kill an event, spend your time, and then be rewarded. I still feel, and this has not changed from the last 2 iterations, the spend and immediately score events should be the same or slightly more than those I'm spending an hour to do something tasks. This 10,000 point BS is killing the morale of this entire thing on my team and in my view, because I'm working half an hour to do something and I'm getting 5,000 points. Cool. I click a button, spend some money, and I get double that. In fact, it should be the other way around, because the spender is putting in minimal effort, just a little bit of an investment, while the loyal player who's sitting on your app for hours a day making something happen and probably bumping up the stats of your game, they are the ones that should be getting rewarded to do this stuff more than the spender, at least equally as much, in my view.
To be perfectly honest with you, I do not disagree in the slightest. I still maintain, and they disagree, but I still maintain that the proper way to balance these point tasks is much smaller than a 10,000 point spread.
I agree.
3,000 point spread is what I think is appropriate here, and that we actually agree on. I'm 1,000% in your corner on that. I still think that point spread should be 3,000 to 6,000 points, or 3,000 to 7,000 points.
Isn't that your whole
Which is why I'm not going to go. I'm not going to say it should be reversed.
Exactly going opposite to
no. I'm not saying it should be reversed. I do disagree. I disagree with Griffin on saying that the money should be worth less points. Okay, I am paying to skip the grind, but I do agree that the morale crusher there is that Tarpy can spend hours or an hour and a half grinding 55,000 proto matter, and I can go and claim 6 event store bundles.
I'm not against paying to skip the grind. I think that's great. I'm just saying you shouldn't get double the points of the grinder for doing that. That you're not entitled to double the points for paying to skip the grind. Your reward is you got to skip the grind. That's your reward.
Yeah. I again don't necessarily disagree. I do think that the point spread is still too wide. All right, I agree with that.
What's your alliance name?
I don't even know. Hang on, I'll look. We are the Banana Republic.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what, man? We're in the same bracket this time.
What's your
Kick
alliance?
their butts, Griffin.
Yeah.
What's your alliance?
I'm gonna annihilate you now. We're going balls to the wall to kill you.
Okay, whatever. What's your what is your alliance tag?
UK.
Oh,
9th place.
So currently you're behind my team by over 100,000 points. Okay, good. Just checking that. I just want to make sure. Yeah, thank you.
That's 3
Congratulations.
players.
Good job.
Big deal.
Good job, guys.
12 hours in.
We're coming for you.
Yeah.
We're
Good.
coming for you.
12 hours in.
Good job. Yeah, you're 110,000 points down. I'm here to tell you, buddy.
That's 3 players.
Your credit card ain't
12
making that
hours
up.
in.
All right. Your credit card ain't making that up. Go ahead. Press
My
that
credit card
button.
can't make that up.
What,
Griffin,
you going to
that's
buy
4
packs for
players.
all your teams? You'll buy packs for all your team?
You know what? You have now inspired me to do so. Hold on. Let me just get on my Discord.
Oh, that's funny. Epic is here. Look, Epic is beating you, Griffin. Just throwing that out there. There's Doss in the chat. He's beating you. Matt Hatter says, we are DSE. There's DSE right on your heels. Deep Space Empire, shout out to you. Appreciate you guys coming in and check. What are you doing? What are you doing over there?
Nothing. Don't worry about me.
You just lost internet connection because you swiped your card too many times too fast.
Don't worry about me. I got my bases are all covered here.
Hey, let me ask. Yeah, Adam Rambles, that's right. Griffin, how do you feel about those low point values now for spending? All right, yeah, I know. Griffin's
I will take full advantage as long as it's lopsided. Don't get me wrong.
Griffin's like, yo, where are those 20,000 point tasks, Scopely?
Yeah, that's right, man.
Where are those? There goes Griffin's pergola money. I know it. He's going to carry his entire team.
No. Nothing. Pergola's number one priority.
That's so funny. That's good.
I can't cancel the pergola now. My good friends at Paradise Grills, Western Chapel, Florida, would definitely have a problem be doing that. But you too can on a pergola of your own.
There. That's impressively large. I don't know what to say.
I think the 750 points things. A lot of my alliance members are low spender, free to play, and they just look at the 750 points compared to 10,000, and they're just like, "This is pointless."
Not doing it.
Like this is
not participating.
And like, even though 20 people doing 3 750 points tasks has literally been the difference between different brackets in the thing
That's
or
true.
relegation or not.
That's
like
true.
it adds up, but like the just people in G6 in our alliance, there's 20 of us. We can do 30,000 points a day. So it makes the ops 25 to 40 people feel like 750 3 times is just useless.
I agree that again, point spread needs to be narrower. However, you are right. The decision in relegation, we saw it on STFC statistics. The separation for relegation for a lot of teams has literally been only hundreds of points.
So it does come down to the individual points, which is all the more reason. This makes my point. It's as plain as the nose on anyone's face. You gotta not have things that cost that or pay that $750 and pay this, which pay $10,000, and expect everybody to care.
I agree.
You're killing the care level of the people who are not going to spend in this event, and that's who you want to attract.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I agree with that too, but I think until they change it, I think it's more of an education issue, and it's convincing your alliance mates that 750 points times 3 times how many ever days is still worthwhile. It may only be
is it
percent.
Is it? Because my argument would be, if you're talking about an education issue, then my argument is going to be, let's look at this sheet. Let's find the tasks that are good for you to be able to do as a grinder that can get you more points.
Absolutely. The 750 is the fallback, right? After all of that, after you looked, after you've tried to find the task that you can do that pays more, if you're down to it, do the 750 and walk away and go, yeah, at least I've contributed something. But yeah, the education really needs to start with which task, especially the 10K task.
I mean, guys,
which task
there's a 1,500 point task here to open a recruit chest box.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, you're right, Cruzito. More points doesn't equal more credits, but we're talking 750 points versus 1,500 points. There's no credits down there anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no points, there's no credits down there anyway. So down here, if you're doing these lower point tasks, it's literally for the benefit of your team. I would argue that, somebody said earlier that there were tasks that were a trap. I think Magoo said that. I would argue that pretty much all of the 750s are traps. They're traps to get people to spend their time and or currency on a task that may not be the most advantageous for the spend of their currency. I mean, look here, you can get 1,500 points for doing 3 rare Borg solos. Now, granted, that requires what? Ops 32? Or is that Ops? No, that's a little higher, right? Ops 36? All right. Wave defense. Go in 2 wave defenses and stay perfect, or maybe 4 or 5, whatever. But that one would take a little while. There's 1,500 points. Okay. The uncommon Borg solos, those do start at Ops 32. All right. Yeah, it might be a little higher, Shard, for the rares, but the uncommons, there's uncommons. Who can't do the uncommons? That's Ops 32.
No, you gotta have a tally, don't you?
Which is Ops 32.
Is that 32? Is it that low?
35.
Damn it.
35.
Okay, Ops 35. Either way, my memory fails me. It's been so long.
I love the various tasks. I think there's a good balance in the tasks which can be accomplished, especially with this most recent edition, this 5,000 point range. They've really balanced out the tasks very well. Just fix the damn scoring.
Burton says, by the way, uncommons, you don't need a tally. So you could still do it with a Vidar. Thank you. So it doesn't require 35.
You can't get... Oh, no, yeah, you're right. You get the directives with Vidar.
Mimi says, I'm out of touch with G3. I mean, yeah, it's been like 3 years. I try, but I can't remember all the numbers. Besides, you got to remember, a lot of that stuff has actually changed since I played through. I spent $1,000 on a Mayflower, people. Okay? Mm-hmm. You laugh about that today. All right. But back then...
Do you blame us?
We still laughed at it back then, too.
All right, that's fair. But at least the ship was actually mildly relevant then.
At no time was the Mayflower ever relevant for anyone.
It was relevant. It just wasn't worth the money. Okay, let's rephrase.
At what point was the Mayflower ever better than the Saladin for anything?
No, but it also unlocked earlier. People spent money on that ship. It just didn't end up being worth it. Listen, they called it the Payflower because it was so expensive and it didn't hold up. But I wasn't alone in spending on it. All right.
I think it was called the Payflower because we all watched you pay for it in the tune of $1,000.
No. Whatever.
Then people scrapped it. It was a Payflower for scrapping.
If everyone called it the Payflower, it was the full nickname for it.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.
Hey DJ,
yes.
There is a task that I would like to highlight that we haven't, specifically for now that the NX01 has been out for a while, and free to play has it. The acquire 26 or 6,000 uncommon X board credits. It's a 10K task. It pays out 4,400 in loot, and if you just can follow the charts that Jules put out for punching up on the battleships, you can always double pull that chest to get all of those choice tokens.
Yes,
and just I mean, it literally is. It is only 2,000 choice tokens to complete that task. That is less than 10 days worth of pulling that chest.
Vool agrees, says this is a great task. Silvertab says I was able to do that task twice today. Absolutely a really big deal. That is a great task. And by the way, one that he has highlighted in black. And if you guys will remember, the ones that are highlighted here are the ones that are accomplishable using free-to-play methodology, whether that's hoarding or this or that or what other ways. But these bold ones here are free-to-play accessible. And you're right, Putz, when you talk about that one, that's one of the goodies right there, because not only does it have refresh tokens, but it also has a lot of Alliance tournament credits. Otter says, that's my favorite task. I could probably do it 12 times. This is one that...
Or if you get lucky with the jackpot. Yeah.
Yeah, listen. And for the record, let me just say, in a team that is mostly cohesive, okay, I'm not going to say, but let me just say this. G6 players should not be gobbling up that task. Okay? I know it's an easy one. I see it in the chat. Some people are doing it, and that's fine. But G6 players have other free-to-play tasks that younger players don't have access to. Me personally, if I drew that task, I would leave that for one of my team, and I am going to continue pursuing the G6 materials one, because, I mean, that's easy. So be really careful. This is part of that team strategy where I say, what are the tasks that are for you? What are the tasks that are for your teammates? That is one. If that one drew up, I would save that one for Karkin or another player in my alliance who's not G6, because they can't do these, and I can. All right. Doss says it pops up all the time. No reason to skip. Doss, I mean, I get that, but at the same time, we've got a bunch of people in here complaining about the lack of refresh tokens and the lack of available 10,000 point tasks that are free to play. We pick a side of the fence. You know what I'm saying? You say it pops up all the time, yet people are saying they can't do substantial points worth. That's one that if it popped up, I'm going to leave that for another player, because I'm chasing the material ones, which are the easy ones for me. All right. That's right. Caledon says Protomatter is doing Q's trials. Yes, it is. I don't remember how many is it. Is it 40 or 60?
It depends on
on which one you're hitting and your level of your artifact gallery, et cetera, et cetera. But yes, Caledon, Acquire Protomatter is doing Q's trials, which means it is grindable. Okay? You have to have a lot of bells. Got to have a lot of bells. But yes, you can. You can do it.
You also get some from a daily pull from the Terran store now, right? Of Protomatter, and you can get Protomatter in a couple other places. So it's actually shorter than it used to be.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
Like always. Yep. Good point.
Yuppers. That's interesting. All right, let me ask this to the community real quick before I move on. That's got to be a bug, right?
What?
There's no Griffin. There's your 20,000 point task. Yikes! Somebody
40K?
Somebody has 40,000 points here on day one.
How can that be?
That can't be.
See, Rigged. It's rigged. You're automatically disqualified.
That's a bug. Oh, my.
Holy frittata.
Adam, I need more information. Shoot me like your server number, and I need a broader screenshot of that player. We'll have to look it up over on the
And
engineering
they
side.
get more than 40,000 points too if they're only 2 out of 3 tasks done.
Yeah.
What is
no,
here?
remember. This particular task display means that they're in process. Because remember, you can have
so
one of one.
Could be higher.
Oh yeah.
Which means if they have 40 already, they've only completed 2.
That's
right?
what I said matters.
That's exactly right. So they've somehow earned 20,000 points per task.
And they already have.
Istio has done that one 3 times.
Istio.
Wait, does Istio have 60,000 points? I need to see it. Isaac says, if you drop an alliance and join another, do you get 3 more tries?
I think I foolbot this.
Ooh, is that how it's happening?
I sure hope not.
Ooh.
But then it wouldn't score for one alliance the whole time. Like it would negate itself over 5 days.
This one has definitely got to be a bug. So if you guys would send me more information, I need a server number, I need a player name, I need everything about it. And I can
server number and player name is fine.
Yeah, and I can look into it. Yeah, NetNiv says, I wonder if you can rejoin after 8 hours. Yeah, but it hasn't been 8 hours. Oh, yes, it has.
It has been.
It has been 8 hours.
It's been 12. It's been 12 and 10 minutes.
Wow.
Well, that's just going to screw up everything on the back end, and they're going to get regulated at the end of the month.
Just a tip says, get outed on stream, then banned. Nice.
Yeah, well, that's why, obviously, he didn't put the player's name in here, I'm sure. Because, yeah, I mean, that's clearly a bug, so we're going to have to look into that.
Oh, WireSpeed has information for you.
All right, pass it over, buddy. Pass it over to me. I'll forward it up. We'll see. Anyway, it's the G6 uncommon Matt one that's bugged. Well, I mean, I did 3 of those today. I don't have 60,000 points.
Yeah.
Ooh, Patron St. Nick has a 40,000 pointer in his alliance too.
Nobody in my alliance has 40,000 points. Look, here's the 30s. Everybody's got 30. So I don't know how that's happened. By the way, this right here is what I was showing you, Tarpy. That means that their third task is in process, because this particular screen will show you how many you've attempted and how many you've completed. So like here, for example, Chala has done 1 out of 1. That means that he's completed 1 and attempted 1. He got 10,000 points on 1. But yeah, if it's showing a 2 out of 3, that means 1 is currently active. In Karkin's
so it will
case,
be more.
Yeah, so
than 40,000.
He's gonna have more points than 40,000. Yeah, holy smokes.
So can I make another note real fast?
Yeah, please.
We talked about some of the tasks that they added. We also didn't mention the tasks that they took away.
All right.
Or at least that we haven't seen.
Ooh.
So I remember one of the ones that I just kept re-rolling and re-rolling and re-rolling was this 2 months ago was acquire Tetrions. And
yes, it's here.
That is not there.
It's been confirmed removed. Here it is down here. Here's the Tetrions. But I'll tell you why. It was an 80-point task.
No, there was another one. There was a 10K task. So I have changed the view on that spreadsheet.
Oh, there it is.
There was a 10K task.
Yes, and it was confirmed removed. Look, it's not checked. That means it did not come in the API, so it's gone.
Well, no. So the check marks are from volunteer data during the day.
Oh,
the check marks are from us updating what we've seen during the day. So what I'm saying is the checkbox are what we have seen and what either Jules or Quazzle or Rev or me have confirmed. So the other ones that none of us have seen.
Why are we pulling this from the API like Jules did last time?
He pulled it after. So we did this 2 months ago the same way.
I got you. Okay.
And so the other thing I want to point out that they don't have in there, or at least that we haven't seen, is spend G6 materials.
Yeah.
So there's a couple other kind of big ones, but those are the biggest ones where it's like those would come up all the time is spend G6, and nobody's going to be spending that much materials outside of a spend event.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. So I mean, but that might be a good thing that one's gone.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm thankful that they're gone, because it makes it so that you're more likely to get the other ones that you want to reroll.
Spectre, that can't be. How are you saying that? That's not possible. All right. He says STFC Statistics has players with more.
Fisty.
Yeah. How's that possible? All right. Let's look here. Let's look at Alliance tournaments. Here we go. And let's look at where do you even see individual players? This is for alliances.
Oh, it's in there. He wouldn't tell you.
Click on an alliance.
I can't click on. Oh, there we go.
Maybe not show it on stream.
I'm looking at individuals in alliances.
But yeah, maybe not possible? Put it on
this
stream.
This has got to be last tournament. I see 150,000 points for one person.
Yeah, this is last tournament, guys.
Okay.
Yeah, this has got to be last tournament. Has to be.
Spectre's also saying it's wrong, but it could be less.
Yeah, that's the last tournament. Look, here are the tasks. Although it does say 3 of 3, even though that one says 15 of 15. Yeah, there's something wrong with the API then.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's something wrong there. Because, some of these are showing, like, here's 13 out of 13, 12 out of 14, but obviously a 3 out of 3 with 150, that's not right. There must be some error, some stuff coming out of there that's incorrect. But nonetheless, I mean, we can get that data checked, but that can't be. Yeah, I don't know, Night Diver. It's on the website, so I don't mind. But I mean, either way.
Has anybody in those alliances done the math to see if that's just a visual error where it's saying 40,000 when it could just be 20,000? So does the team score actually reflect the 40,000?
Nobody likes doing that kind of math except for you, Tarpy. No, listen,
I don't like doing it either.
You're suggesting that somebody line up and do 80 lines of math just to check a subtotal? Yeah, no, pass. All right. Pass. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Right? I mean, that seems like the first thing that I would do if I saw something weird like that would actually...
Wow. That's a big one right there. That's impressively large.
It is impressively large. All right, Fisty says he'll do it. All right. He says, give me a moment to check. I'm on it, Tarpy. Yeah, Balabom says, not what I want to do 80 lines of. Yeah, buddy. All right.
We all have our preferences.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one right there. Hey, let me say thanks to a couple of people before we move on to our next topic tonight. I guess I wasn't prepared to take a commercial break. Oh, Griffin's gone. Okay. Bearbud, thank you for your 30-month resub. Appreciate that. Matters for gifting a sub to Retrieving earlier. Thank you very much for that. Papa Smurf for your 100 kitties.
For all his... No, that's against... Yeah, he's not doing that.
No, it's not technically against TOS if he just gives them like gift cards and payment methods. I mean, I do that. That's how I award stuff. By the way, I do want to say thank you to Norlax, Spoiler, Contradiction, Spirit of 98, Roger Workman, Isaac, Drywall God, Major Dave, Prototype, and Kobayashi. You guys won a free battle pass this month out of our brand new Dinobot giveaway. How did you guys like that, by the way? Did that work out okay? Did most people good with that? This was through the Dinobot. We ended up, it looks like, with 860 entries, which actually is not bad considering it was a brand new method here. No, you can't say rigged. I had nothing to do with it. Talk to Dino. All right. Everyone's actually been telling me that I should have been using Dino all along, but I like the fact that we had something kind of special for us. But Vita did finally answer. I sent him a message that was slightly impatient. I wrote the other day, November
slightly.
November 17th. I said, Vita, are you done with the bot? Let me know so we can make other plans. And he says, I'm not done with it. I'm just having trouble with its components, working on a fix. That was on November 18th. And I said, do we have an ETA? It's been offline for 33 days now. And that was on the 18th. So now we're at 36 days. We couldn't wait around anymore. So I had to try something with a new bot. That being said, we did use the Dinobot. It looks like it worked. And it looked cleaner than, of course, Spam It is fun. You know what I'm saying? The spam it is fun. You get to go in and then just type whatever. But this bot definitely was kind of nice, and it's got a shareable link, so people could click and join it, from other places. So it was kind of interesting. Anyway, all right. Jules is also telling me that he didn't do an API at any time for the task. Every single one of them was gathered through volunteer input. Oh my God,
there
Jules!
You go.
What? That is awful. God. Jiminy Christmas,
damn
Scopely.
Volunteers. Who the heck would
Scopely. I mean, how hard is it to send us a daggone Excel spreadsheet with a task list? Please.
Well, oh man, come on.
Come on.
Say that about a kabillion things.
Oh crap.
Why can't we? Why don't we have all of the information in advance to communicate and share with the public? What we're actually playing instead of just figure it out.
Yeah. Crap.
I mean,
I forgot
I'd be
to do
really
dailies.
happy.
Sorry, guys. I forgot to remind you the daily reset. I didn't do my dailies. Daggone it, crap.
Oh, well, we're out of time.
Yeah, there you go.
Not that one.
There you go. Yeah, I just want data. Just give me the data. By the way, thank you to the 290 of you in our live studio audience tonight. You guys are amazing. Thank you very much. Hey, good night, Matt Hatter.
Good night, Matt Hatter.
Thank you. Kill First, Webster Sponge, Skeletor, Vul, Snack Attack, Don Zeno, Just Q, and Papa Smurf. Thank you guys very much for your resubs tonight as well. Wonder Games, thank you for the 19-month resub. You guys are incredible. We're going to take a very quick break over on the Twitch side. We'll continue here on the podcast side. I invite you to visit our website at talkingtrekstfc.com to find links to all of your favorite podcast platform downloads, download locations where you can listen to the show uninterrupted on playback, where you can also find access to our new Patreon and our new Patreon levels that will bleed over into the other channel, our Studio B channel. As well, Griffin, as we are having fun with the music channels that are going over there.
Get funky with it on Saturdays.
Yeah, Saturday nights we step into the time machine and we go to the club. All right. So, yeah, Saturday nights we go to the club over in Studio B. I missed this past Saturday because I was traveling to see my boys, but football season's over. So now I am here on Saturday night. Now I just got to figure out what I'm going to do about the heating situation in there. It is.
What do you mean?
It's chilly. I'm in the outside. I mean, it's the garage studio. It's chilly out here.
How about you jump around and dance like a DJ does? Get some cardio going.
I do. I'm just saying. It's how their team didn't make the playoffs. It was rough. I'm pretty sure we ended 4-6. So not the season we would have loved to have finished with, but that is nonetheless where we do. Yep. Welcome to 11 o'clock reset, says Wham. Game is done. Querdy says Twitch needs to stop. We haven't taken a break in 60 minutes. Listen, you guys, I'll wait till he comes back because he's in ads right now. Here's the thing about that, which again, I'll just wait 90 seconds to talk about it. I do that on purpose. Otherwise, they would give you 90 seconds of ads every 30 minutes.
Ew.
I do the 3 minutes of ads because it's only once an hour. Either way, you're getting 3 minutes of ads an hour. Like, they'll let me do 1 minute ads, but then it's 3 times an hour.
And also, as a reminder, you can either get 17 more shards of the Shakedown Cruise, or you can subscribe to this channel for only $5 a month. I mean, come on.
Well, it's actually $6 now. That's right. They could just subscribe, but I'll have to tell them that in 49 seconds when they come back.
Yes,
all right. I'll have to tell them that in 49 seconds when they get back from ads. So, anywho, one of the other things that I did want to talk about tonight, and I'll just kind of give you guys a preview of what we're going to get into. We talked about the Battle Pass. We've talked about Alliance tournaments and the task list. The only other thing is the new transporter store, which, by the way, are you I know you've been very busy with videos. Are you going to pull out that video from the last one, or is that one of the two that you've done?
Oh, that's one of the ones that are in the hopper. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's one of the two extras that you've got. Because I was going to make one on Independent Archives. I was going to make a tutorial. I'm going to actually make something as if it was professionally done and would be viewed by a broader Star Trek Fleet Command audience. I don't know if it's going
you mean like the one that I did two days ago about the nice little thing?
Yeah, absolutely. The NX-01 was great. NX-01 was really, really good. So welcome back, everybody. I apologize. Listen, I saw some people complaining. Querity says Twitch needs to stop. Here's the thing. I choose the longer breaks, and I'll tell you why. I mentioned this while you were at commercial break, and then I realized nobody could hear it. So they're going to make 3 minutes an hour. That is Twitch's requirement for the level of monetization on my channel. Okay. Like my partner agreement requires 3 minutes an hour. I have the option as to how I break it up. So I choose 3 minutes at once, and then we get to go commercial free for an hour. Otherwise, I could do 1.5 minutes every 30 minutes, or I could do 1 minute every 20 minutes. So, I mean, I personally like the 3 minutes once an hour, because then you get to go an hour commercial free, you know. And Broken Wolf says 57 minutes. No, it actually is 60 minutes. So they actually kind of run on 63-minute cycles, I guess, if you will.
Oh,
because
that's weird.
Yeah, because
Really?
3 minutes of ads will buy me exactly 60 minutes of ad-free time.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So, like, for example, right now they just came back. I do not have ads for another 57 minutes and 40 seconds. And I've got the capability of snoozing that by up to 15 minutes. So, I mean, technically, we could go an hour and 10 minutes commercial free.
We often do.
And we do. Yeah, I hit that snooze button a lot. So, Wham says, stop apologizing for the commercials. I'm not. I'm actually justifying why it's a longer break, Wham. Like, sometimes people ask about that, and I'm like, listen, I intentionally do that so that you don't get sent to commercials every 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, and you got to remember, too, I always take that one break right in the very beginning so that we can kind of go an hour commercial free right up front. So, but the best way to avoid that is what I agree with some of the people that were talking in chat. Best way to avoid that is to just simply be sub to the channel. All right. Balabom says, I haven't seen commercials here for years. Well, thank you for your loyal support to the channel, Balabom. And listen, in a lot of cases, the people who are complaining about that are not subbed. If you ask in the chat, there is usually somebody, like Matters did earlier for retrieving. Usually somebody might be willing to drop a gifted sub or two in the chat. So if you're not subbed to the channel and you'd like to be, just throw it out there. Paulo says, yeah, best way to avoid that is, Griffin, please give me a sub, says Paulo.
Yeah. That's usually how it goes.
Yeah. Snake says no commercial time is the best time. That is sadly not an option for Twitch. All right. They got to pay the bill somehow. So, yeah, it's not an option. Every streamer is required to take the ads. It just depends on the duration. Like, even a non-monetized streamer has to run ads. Like,
do you get to pick the commercials?
No.
Like
I have
the range of which?
nothing to do with it. Yeah. Ad breaks are good for P breaks. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, they got it.
True.
So, yeah, even streamers, that's why I'm saying even streamers who don't have monetization on their channels, they still get ads. And guess who keeps all of the monetization money? Twitch. That's right. All right, they keep all of it.
And they like it. They love it.
So that's why I entered into that agreement. If they were going to stream on my channel, I was surely gonna control it my own way. So that's it. Wham says, well, not entirely true. Asmond Gold does not write
Amazon Gold. Amazon.
Amazon.
No,
well, that's Turbo. Isn't that Turbo? What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Shoddy says, stop talking about ads. Talk more about Trek. Okay, we can do that. Spock, thank you for the gifted sub to Otter. See? Somebody will do it for you. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. All right. Yeah, Fisty says, don't get yourself demonetized. They keep your stuff. That is the nutshell. Right there.
Oh, what about Lorca? Have we talked about Lorca today?
We haven't talked about Lorca today, I don't think.
We're about to, and he's in the transporter pattern store now, too.
He is, and we're going to talk about that. But before we do, I want to wrap up on Alliance tournaments. Guys, there was an adjustment made to the Alliance Tournament store, and I would like to share that with you guys right now. And do appreciate you guys, by the way. Welcome back from break. Thank you guys, everybody, for being a part of our live studio audience. The time is 11:09 p.m. Eastern Time in the graphics room, where Jules has made this wonderful chart and shown us some of the pricing changes that have occurred in the Alliance Tournament store. Okay, so we're going to take a quick peek here, and we're going to see that the green arrows down have indicated that the price has actually decreased. All right. And then you're going to see some of them that have increased, which is not wildly surprising, although just a little bit silly. All right.
That's a big one right there. That's impressively large.
Some of them did go up. You've got the prime particles, the prime particle key, weapon prime particles, and prime particle key. Are two primes that went up. Dragon Keeper says yes, but admittedly, they were too low last time. And that's just it, Dragon Keeper. You're exactly right. We knew they were low.
What are these primes for?
We knew they were cheap.
I'm full of positive energy.
Thank you for your positive energy, Fisty. We knew that they were really cheap. They were really cheap last time. For those of you who are curious about what those primes go to, I think I have that. Let me see if I can pull that up. That is also in the Alliance Tournament. Here we go. The Alliance Tournament store that we were talking about last time. Here is the prime particles that are in the store. And I'll throw this in the graphics room for you as well. Here are the prime unlocks available inside the Alliance Tournament store. So if we're looking at the primes that did get a little bit more expensive, we're talking about the weapon prime particle. That is for a prime called prime weapon damage. It is simply a 200% increased base damage. It got
Who
more.
cares?
I'm not going to say who cares, but it's certainly not something that I'm boo-hooing about. Okay, I mean, it's not at the top of my list. All right, yeah, it's 200% to base. It's not at the top of my list. The other one was prime particle key, also for damage output. These are for the prime wrecking researches. So prime battleship, explorer, and interceptor wrecking, which adds 300% to damage against player-specific ship types. So again, 300% to base damage. These are not super influential primes, so I'm not entirely sure as to why they were changed in price. However, they were very, very cheap last time. And our assumption simply was, Griffin, that they were cheap because they weren't that influential.
No, I mean, they're yesterday's news.
Yeah. On the other hand, Vul says, listen, you pick up both of them, it's still a 500% damage boost, and that's not nothing, and I do agree. For a free-to-play, that's probably substantial, okay? I'm not going to take anything away from that. 500% damage boost, free-to-play, grindable primes, that is still worth chasing. I disagree with them increasing the price tag on it, but again, they were incredibly cheap last time. So I understand why they probably raised the price on it. It probably was an error, but nonetheless, they have countered that by dropping the price on Syndicate Prime, which, by the way, is very, very valuable. The Omega Particles and Prime Cosmic Particles got cheap as well. The Omega Particle pays for Prime Critical Strike, which is extra critical damage. And that one actually got cheaper, which is wild, but that's a great one. The Cosmic Particle, Prime Cosmic Particle, is efficiency. All right, that is great. That's a two-level prime, and that one got very much cheaper. It's almost like that one was too expensive last time. That one got significantly cheaper, and that is good for a combined 700% resource and material efficiency for G3 through G5 research. All right,
I like it.
That is a massive catch-up mechanic for G3 through G5 and very, very worth looking into. It requires Ops 30 for level 1 and only Ops 35 for level 2. So imagine being a level 35 and getting a 700% free-to-play resource efficiency that not only is going to last you through G4, but also G4 and G5.
Well, that's good stuff.
All right. I mean, that is just absolutely massive. So that one got significantly cheaper. All right. That's great. All right, that's fantastic. So there were a couple of balances here. Some got cheaper, some got more expensive, and you've got the Kirshara, which is still missing. Okay, Kirshara is still missing, and I have relayed the community sentiment on that. I have been told that it will be reviewed for next time, but it will not reappear in this run of Alliance tournaments.
Well, to be honest, a lot of those price increases and decreases were because they actually had the listing wrong. It was as if they had one place missing, but the prices hadn't shuffled over.
Oh, I see.
That was why. So if you look at, I've got the old screenshots that I could post in the graphics room. Please. It was like those three officers that were there. One was like two of them were the right price, but then one wasn't. It's because everything was shifted over, like one to the left or one to the right.
You know that? Gosh, that actually makes sense when you look at the pattern, because McCoy's hypo spray went up significantly in price. It went up to $2,580, but it was $880 last time.
Yeah, it was, because that's the price for the officer that's sitting right next to it.
Whoops. They assigned the cost to the spot rather than the item itself, and that was kind of wild.
That's right.
Yeah. Wow. Yes. All right. Well, there you go.
Ginmon says... reporting there. Steven Zarin.
Yeah. Nice job, dude. Ginmon says, did they actually roll over the Alliance credits? I have 85 from last time. Does this mean they're going to roll over between tournaments in the future? That was asked today in dev chat, and they still say that they will be reset, but they haven't been yet. So I would say don't count on it. Enjoy it this time, but don't count on it. All right?
Don't bank them.
I wouldn't bank them. Count DeVille says they've been rolling over since the first one, and I agree they have. They did. Yeah. You remember the between Tournament 1 and Tournament 2, they offered those credits in the Battle Pass, so that's why they didn't wipe them out. But now we've had a 2-month break, and they haven't done it again. So I wouldn't risk it. I would spend your currency. They have certainly advised us that they're not going to roll over. The fact that they don't roll over does not hurt us in any way, shape, or form. So, bank them at your own risk, and it's probably a small player beneficial oversight that they haven't been wiped out. But they certainly have been very, very vocal in their announcements and in the tooltips in the game that they're not going to carry over. So the first month that they don't carry over, people are going to be furious, but they've been saying
it'll also be the month that they add the Kirshara back in. If that's
maybe. Maybe.
I think everybody spent themselves down to like 10 credits, and so they were like, well, let's not waste the money. Nobody's got any credits, so let's just keep it rolling.
Well,
as soon as someone banks up a whole bunch, then they'll be like, oh no, we can't have this.
Oh, well, maybe
Alliance credits 2.0.
Yeah, that could be. Could be. But I spent mine down. I think I finished the month with like 30 or 40, something like that. I couldn't spend any more. I spent them as low as I was going to get. But nonetheless, those credits do not appear as though they were wiped out, but it was, like Matter says, it was pretty small numbers most of the way around the board. So do we know when the store will close? So I think what they did last time was 24 hours after the end of tournaments. Were tournaments extended by 1 day this time? Are they 5 days? No, they're still 4 days. No.
Aren't they 5?
Oh, wait.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
Yeah, it's 5 days. So they ran 5 days instead of 4 this time.
No, they were 5 last time, too.
That's right.
Because we were all saying 5 was too many.
That's right. It was 150,000 points. Yep. So 5 days, and how long did they keep the store open that time? 24 or 48?
Well, they extended it, but then they extended it, but they also extended the cooldowns on everything, so you couldn't end up pulling things twice.
Which that's what happened in the very first run. So yeah, I mean, I kind of get that. So 5 days this time, and let's assume for the moment a 24-hour window on spending your credits. All right, but I'll keep you posted if there's more than that. Okay, that's right. They extended the store because of the hurricane. That's right. I remember that.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So, all right.
Oh, yeah,
well,
that was good of them.
Yeah, it was. It was good. Ladies and gentlemen, Transporter Store. We talked about that a little bit on Twitch on Tuesday night. This is a nice change, and Griffin has a video getting ready to come out that will specifically talk about our older method of recruiting officers in the Transporter Store in a super, super concentrated fashion. As a matter of fact, I forgot to send that spreadsheet to Jules. I know he's listening right now, but he's on daddy duty, so probably not able to come to the stage. But I had a very basic and rudimentary spreadsheet, Griffin, that I can send over to Jules. He can probably beautify it and make it something that the people would be able to use. But it was essentially a calculator in how much or how many transporter patterns you can feasibly farm in a given day, and therefore how long you have to use my method to max out the officers of your choice in the Transporter Pattern Store. I'm curious, anybody who listened to that on Tuesday, has anybody jumped into it, and how many transporter patterns have you earned in the last 3 days? I had one person DM me and tell me that they had earned over 100,000 transporter patterns, and they didn't even have the high rep that I had when I was doing it. So they had earned over 100,000 transporter patterns in only 3 days. Dragon Keeper says a few 100,000, which is very possible. So that is a method. I know that we're going to turn that into a video. Wham says it would be nice if we include an officer acquired ranking. We could probably potentially do something like that. I'll get with Jules on that. I kind of picked out a handful of them that were my favorite when we were talking on stream about it the other night when we recorded that piece of content, so it probably won't make it into the video that Griffin does. But there are definitely some officers in there now that are worth it. And maybe, Griffin, if you want, you can incorporate a small piece of this, because I'm perfectly willing to rank these officers. The new number one is Lorca. All right, let's talk about Lorca. Lorca, Honor Guard, Wharf. Those are both
time out on the field. Flag on the field. If you're gonna do that, then let's set it up in a way that I can have a nice little jump cut there.
Okay.
Example. Let's talk about that. Okay. And you're on.
Yeah! Thank you, Art. That has got to be the opening to that segment. Amazing!
That comment couldn't be any better.
Oh, that's great, Griffin. That tells you what he thinks of your idea.
No, that's how I feel every day of my life.
Oh, that was great. Thank you. Thank you, Ark. That was amazing. I love it. Appreciate it very much. So what officers should you be focusing in on out of the Transporter Pattern Store now that there are so many new additions, 5 new additions? What are the officers that you should be looking at? Well, here's the thing. It's a tough question to answer because it depends on what you already have. It also depends on the style of play that you like to enjoy as to whether or not PvP officers are better or base rating officers are better or grinding officers are better.
Mining.
What? Mining? Mining?
Yeah, that's part of the team, mining.
Okay. So there are a couple of different paths you could look at here. However, if I were offering, say, my top 5, all right, that I would chase. And by the way, this is of all time in the Transporter Store. So if you already have it, just proceed to the next. If you don't have it, then it could be something you look at. Number 1 for me has to probably become the brand new addition, Lorca. All right, that is number 1 most important officer currently that exists inside the Transporter Pattern Store. I think if I were going to follow that up, I would follow that up with Strange New Worlds Pike. That would be my number 2.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because PvE is such an integral part of the game, right? And by the way,
he's sourceable.
Yeah.
He's super sourceable.
Yeah, but is he super
what about
sourceable?
the
You also
oldest, most important
have to remember
officer
early
that
game.
was in the-
Yeah, you got to
6 of
remember,
11.
we're also talking early game here, okay? We're talking to anybody. If an advanced player already has it to a usable tier, then skip it. I'm talking about for the entire audience. You got a brand new Ops 30. Strange New Worlds Pike is very, very important. All right. As a matter of
Yeah,
fact,
if you don't have them unlocked, I'd say yes for sure.
yeah.
And no
Um,
mantis
Then
until
there's the, I don't know about
30, mid-30s,
maxing them.
like 33.
Yeah,
Like, if you
that's
can't have
right.
the
So you're
mantis,
not
you
going to
can't
get the
get
Strange
pike.
New World store. That's exactly right. You're
But you
exactly
have
right.
regular pike to use up until that point.
Well,
For the
that's
same
true
reason.
too.
Multiple Grand Crews are never bad.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I like having the best. I like having the best of one scenario.
Yeah.
You like PvP? Honor Guard Wharf is a must-have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's see. What else do I like in here? If you like base rating, ROM is important, but that wouldn't be in my top 5. Kirk is super sourceable, so I don't think you go that route. Plus, he's in the faction recruit, so to use my method, you would already have it maxed.
About 6 of 11.
I was going to say 6 of 11 is super important to the early Armada game. Like, super important to the early Armada game. So I would suggest that would be one for an early player. Absolutely,
And
that you could look at. Con, yeah, I could see Con. I think I would do 6 of 11 over Con, I believe.
But they're both good.
And George O, I think. Oh, no. I think William Riker. I think Riker. Speed. Not Gary Mitchell. What? Robotsky says I would put
Riker.
Wrong Riker.
Yeah, wrong Riker.
Oh, that's
other
right.
Riker.
He's Enterprise
That's the old
E.
Riker.
Okay, that's the old Riker.
Bad Riker.
That's bad Riker. Okay, forget that. Then, yeah, I'm going to come back and say I like that. Yeah, that's the wrong Riker. Sorry. I've already got them all maxed, so it doesn't. I don't think about it. I think I would agree with that. I wouldn't prioritize Khan because of the Botany Bay mastery now. That's going to speed that up significantly. So I don't know that I would actually do that. You know what? I think I agree with Robotsky. Benjamin Sisko, okay? Especially for an early level player. You got to remember, same thing in the Bajoran loop. Younger players can participate in the uncommon pieces of that loop, but you got to be G4 to do the rare and epic pieces of that loop, and that is where Benjamin Sisko is sourced. So for early and younger level players, I love Benjamin Sisko being added in here. He will be a crucial part of your Armada lineup for a long time to come. We've got other Armada officers in the game now, and Sisko Miles is still a top go-to in Armada crew for a lot of players, even at today's level in the game. So there are other Armada crews out there, but Dr. Juby says, please refer to him as Space Jesus. Benjamin Sisko is a very, very, very important officer. And by the way, Wham, I'm not suggesting that Khan is not needed. He's just super sourceable. All right.
Well, so with the like the Botany Bay mastery, I mean, you get the same chance and shard count as the Botany Bay store.
Yeah.
And you get a very low chance of pulling con shards out of it.
Yeah, but you also have Swarm Sunday that still pays con. There's a lot of places to get
like,
con shards.
10 shards a week. That's
And
true.
Cisco pays
I don't do
himself
that. So
forward.
I forget about
too.
that.
So, like, if you max Cisco sooner, when you do get in the 40s, you'll get more transporter patterns because he actually has a fairly high drop rate of a full pull.
Mm-hmm.
So he pays himself back a lot sooner.
Yeah, I do think there's a lot of sourcing on Khan. He probably he might be a top 5 officer in there, but I don't know that he's a top 5. I would spend my transporter patterns here simply because he is so widely sourced, if that makes sense.
Well,
Precisely.
Well, so I haven't gone crazy on transporter patterns. I've mostly spent them on officers that have almost no sourcing, partly because I can continue to get shards of all the other ones, and partly for my own interest. I just kind of want to see how long it takes to max all these guys in the transporter pattern store without getting transporter patterns. The only officer I think that I've maxed completely naturally without using any transporter patterns is Cisco. I still don't have Khan maxed. And obviously Kirk, Nero, and Gorkin.
Wham says
Like,
GG should be a
my
contender,
car's
and
not
I agree. I like GG up there too.
Still.
Burning, I mean,
And I
she's.
max pull that every day. Anyway, go ahead.
I agree with Wham on GG. That should be a contender as well there.
Yeah.
Because she is very valuable. She's more valuable than Nero in a lot of battle cases. So I like GG up there as well. I don't think she's super niche, Otter. I think players. She probably is a little bit more niche than some of the others, which is why she might be ranked 5 or ranked 7 or ranked 10. She's not at the top of my list, but she's pretty crucial to a lot of crews, and especially if you like battleships. All right, so yeah, I really, really like that. Daystra says, believe it or not, Tendy is a top pick for you. Tendy's very valuable. And again, I don't know if I would go top 5 on Tendy just because we've done the math on her hull ability. And now that you've got so much research in the game for hull repair, and there's just, I mean, obviously there's going to be even more coming, then Tendy actually becomes a little bit less valuable.
I think I fool-bought this.
So I don't know. Tendy is nice. I still fly her if I have a free spot, but she's not a priority spot for me. So, yeah, that's right, Otter. Tendy used to be incredible. Now she's okay.
She like buys you a shot. She doesn't buy you around anymore.
I wouldn't say that she's not. I wouldn't even say she's just okay. I still think she's good. She's just not great. All right. But yeah, very solid for G3 for sure. For sure. Tendy lost a little bit of value because of the other research and the other bloat. You got to remember, too, there's been so much hull health research added to the game, and she affects base. You know? So, yeah, that's right. Paulo says she just got diluted. And that's really what it is. I mean, her function is the same. It's just been diluted by all this other hull research. So she fell off because there's so much power bloat. So anyway, all right. So if we were categorizing, if we were going to count our top 5, all right, and I'm going to record this with no commentary so that we can inject it into the video for like 60 seconds. So we'll shush everybody, and I'll just make a top 5. Griffin, where do you pick up?
From the who's new in the store, and let's pick a top 5.
Okay. So, if you were taking a look at the new officers that were added combined with the previous officers that were available at the Transporter store, who should you look at? Let's take a look at the top 5 community picks for the Transporter Pattern store. And again, this is for all age levels in the game and also takes into account existing sourcing paths. You might have an officer who's very, very important, like Khan, but has pretty good sourcing in other areas of the game, so may not necessarily be somebody you want to focus on. Take also Benjamin Sisko, a very, very important officer, but if you're G4 or higher, has very, very reliable sourcing in the Deep Space Nine Bajoran Solo Armada loop, so that may not be somebody you want to spend shards on either. So this is very, very subjective based on your position in the game and your current levels of acquisition and what is available to you. But if we were picking, Griffin, the top 5 officers who are the most valuable in the entire store, and when we're talking not just about sourcing, but most valuable, then I think that I would have to come in and say number 1 has to be an easy pick. That would be Lorca. Let's talk a little bit about Lorca. I think that is a number 1 absolute must-have out of the Transporter Pattern store. Not only is he super valuable, but he's also really difficult to source. His best sourcing comes in the very expensive G4 Rare Armada chest. He also is available in the Discovery Refinery if you purchased or have acquired the Discovery skin. So, and that is still not widely available. So, Lorca.
That takes forever. You'll die before you get him maxed that way.
Definitely Lorca. Big, big, big. I would also argue that Honor Guard Worf is very, very important. Now, that is obviously for somebody who likes PvP. I do enjoy that. Honor Guard Worf is still, to this day, a key player in the PvP meta. Even today, after all the strike teams and everybody has come out, Honor Guard Worf is still very, very potent and very, very valuable in PvP. And as you can see, I have been working on him. I haven't blasted it out yet because I like to spend efficiently, but Honor Guard Worf is somebody I'm working on and will be an officer max for me very, very soon. Not to mention, his sourcing is also painfully slow in the Amalgam Refinery. That is not a very fun refinery to have. Another officer that I am going to encourage players to look at would be the 2 Pikes. All right. Now, I'm going to ignore the original Kelvin Pike simply because his new player experience sourcing today, Griffin, is phenomenal. With field training and all the new player experience bundles and tasks and missions that are available for a younger player, Christopher Pike is very, very sourceable, and he's most important on the unlock. All right. It's meaning that he doesn't necessarily have to be maxed, but he's most important on the unlock. And he is very, very obtainable. However, if you are looking to tier him up or looking to fast track your availability in getting him unlocked, which is not likely, again, because the method we're talking about is fast forwarding through that recruit refinery. However, Christopher Pike is very important. I would instead encourage you to fast forward a generation and take a look at Strange New Worlds Pike. Not only does he have better hair, but he's also more versatile and more able to be used in a wider variety of sources. And his sourcing in game is limited really to the Mantis loop, which is a little bit later in Ops. All right, I'm pretty sure that Mantis, before you really start to get reliable sourcing on Pike, does require G4, either late G3 or early G4. So Strange New Worlds Pike is one that I would definitely recommend looking at. And unlike his predecessor Pike, he actually does have a substantial benefit in upgrading and tiering up because of his hostile shield mitigation ability. So I would absolutely recommend taking a look at Strange New Worlds Pike as being my number 3 pick, just because of his wide PvE ranging abilities. I am being told that the Mantis loop is earlier than I thought. It looks like Ops 33 there, Griffin. So, but again, still, that is a longer path. All right. And the transporter pattern store, or at least the transporter pattern method of farming, is still very, very viable in your early 30s. If you're taking a look at the Mantis loop, that one does have sourcing, but it might be a little slower. And by the time you get into the early mid G3s, the transporter pattern farming method is still very, very, very viable. So I would still consider him being a number 3 pick there. Depending on what you like to do next, I'm probably going to come back over here to Benjamin Sisko, all right, which is, by the way, speaks to the value or the quality of this transporter pattern store update. We've now named 3 officers that came out of the 5 that were just released. I'm going to name Benjamin Sisko as a top 5, mainly because, again, he's got decent sourcing in the game, but only for 40 plus. And that is through the Bajoran loop. But Benjamin Sisko, even still to this day, is a very, very central piece to anybody's Armada lineup. If you are G3, G4, G5, I mean, there are still scenarios in which I fly Benjamin Sisko as an early G6. So Benjamin Sisko is wildly important to the Armada crewing. And still to this day, Sisko and Miles remain an incredibly potent team. There are other Armada crews out there like Chakotay Janeway, Tejas Torah, and what's the other guy's name? Not Beer, but the other one. They still Totally. Thank you. They still Totally. They still provide great Armada benefits, but Benjamin Sisko still remains near the top of that list. So he is going to be my number 4. Finally, I am probably a little bit torn on this. We were talking about this one earlier, Griffin. Number 5, I am kind of torn on this one. Because Khan is so well sourced, All right. Khan is available in the Rogue and Outlaw recruits. So you're going to increase your sourcing with him with Botany Bay Mastery, which Botany Bay Mastery is also available at a very young ops level these days. You also have Swarm Sunday, which is very reliable. I mean, Swarm Sunday pays 40 shards a month of that officer. So Khan is very well sourced. However, he's also very widely used and an officer that will benefit from the tier up. So he's not just good on the unlock, but having a tier 5 Khan is substantially better. So I might be convinced that he's an honorable mention, Griffin, because he has such good sourcing everywhere else in the game. But he's definitely an important officer that you would want to look at. If I was going to pick out a solid 5th place finish, I would probably have to hand out a tie. That tie would probably be between Philippa Georgiou
and Barkley. I'm kidding.
Get out of here with that, Karkin. That tie would probably have to be between Philippa Georgiou, depending on your play style, and Strange New Worlds Hemmer.
Wow. That's a big one right there. That's impressively large.
You guys are making this impossible for Griffin to edit. You know that, right? The 5th place, I feel like I would have a tie on that between Philippa Georgiou and Strange New Worlds Hemmer. The reason that Hemmer is kind of a surprise sneak attack on this one here a little bit, Griffin, is simply because of his compatibility with Strange New Worlds Pike, in that he is going to provide a great deal of benefit in survey hostile grinding, which in G3 and G4, survey hostiles are where you're getting most of your rep. So it doesn't exist that way as much in G5 and G6. I'd say G5 still, right? Yeah, G5 probably still pretty good with survey, but definitely not into G6. So Hemmer is going to help that. Vul saying that G5 and G6 surveys are pretty much all of your rep. He's also great at farming rep in the mirror universe. So I think Hemmer is going to be kind of a surprise Black Stallion kind of sneaking in here, Griffin, into 5th place, if not Philippa Georgiou. Philippa Georgiou providing burning and in a better, more efficient way than Nero. But Philippa Georgiou is a little bit more niche in her use, as predominantly she requires either Tal or a battleship, and that is not necessarily what everybody flies. I think Hemmer would be a little bit more widely used. And those are the top 5 plus an honorable mention of the new officers, or of all the officers in the Transporter Pattern store, if you are looking to start farming those patterns using the talking trick method.
There you go.
Bam! Lango says, are there G6 surveys in the mirror universe? There are. Not in space, but in mirror universe. Yeah, that's it.
In mirror universe, that's where all of the faction credits come from. Faction rep comes from.
I don't want to say all of it. I've actually been really I've started grinding rep now. I think I'm going to single. I'm probably doing this wrong. I have started single rep grinding my G6 journey now. I am 22 billion on ROM, and Klingon and Fed are both down to 15 billion now. I agree with you, 3M. I hate grinding rep. I have done this with dailies now. Like, the dailies really change a great deal. I'm up to 22 billion now just with dailies.
Yeah, you get like 1 billion a day, but you can also get about 2.5 billion an hour if you do the mirror universe correctly with the right crew. And unfortunately, Hemmer just doesn't belong on there, because you need that whole loot crew in order to really be successful in the mirror universe. And that includes 5 of 11 on the side. You don't have room for Hemmer on the side.
Pirate Yar says, I don't think I'm doing it wrong. They single repped one, locked it at 64, and now dual grinding the other 2. No regrets. Mimi, on the other hand, says I'm doing it wrong. I don't know. Here's the thing. I dual ground through G5, and it felt like it took a really long time. So I decided I'm going to try to single grind this one, because at the rate I'm earning rep, I mean, what's the lock? 500 billion? Right?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm single grinding it all the way through Fed.
500 billion is not going to take long. I only started this a week ago. I'm getting like 1 billion a day, And that's at the early level. So it's going to get higher as I go on. And then if I do grind some rep, I feel in less than a year I could be 500 billion. You know what I'm saying? Like,
less than a year?
Well, yeah,
When
probably,
did we?
probably in
when,
7 or 8 months.
When did we pop? When did we pop G6?
A year ago.
ago.
Yeah, right at a year ago.
You guys did end of July.
No, like us personally. You and me.
End of
was
July.
like the same weekend.
Oh, when
And
did
yeah,
I
we
go?
all three did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in the
Yeah,
summer.
it was,
around
when,
the
it was,
24
it was
streams.
when Galaxy Quest came out because they did the Grab with Our Hammers
Right.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
End
I
of
did
July.
the same thing. And I've been single factioning the whole time. And I've got 183 billion.
Yeah,
And I
see.
have not once gone rep grinding. Not a. I went the
believe you.
one time there was the event to kill the hostiles. There was an SLB for gaining faction rep.
Mm-hmm.
So I did one 20-minute run, and then I was like, oh, F this, I'm not coming back.
Yeah. Voltron says,
And
why
it
not?
just dailies.
Voltron says, why not dual grind? For me, it was that I felt like my G5 progression was a little too slow. Like I found myself held back because I didn't have the proper rep requirements. I don't want to experience that this time, especially since I know I'm going to be very selective with the ships I build because I can't afford. I discovered that in G5. I can't afford ships from every faction. So I am probably going to be very, very selective with the ships that I build. Most of them are going to be Romulan. And so I am probably going to single grind all the way up until I get to that lock, and then I'll come back and pick up another one. But I do, like Matters is saying, I think I have found that rep grind is going to be significantly faster, even by single. I don't even think it's going to be half the speed if you dual grind. I feel like the math is stacked against that.
Yeah, you're getting pulled back.
Yeah, you're pulled back more than halfway. So I think I'm going to try single. But again, it's also combined with the fact that I also don't like grinding rep. So I have found that it's going to give me a natural, faster progression to single rep grind. And it probably doesn't matter if I'm not building those ships anyway. So I know that people are going to say, well, you should be doing dual or even triple, but I don't like that level of grind. I don't want I don't want that commitment myself. So
No, thank you.
yeah, that's not my thing. I hate grinding hostiles. So, all right. Regarding the AT or the transporter pattern store, I think that we have hit everything in our show notes. I will pause just for a moment and see if you guys have any questions on anything that we've talked about here tonight. We can give you guys about 5 minutes of community Q&A. We're right at the 3-hour mark, so yeah, it's about that time. Give you about 5 minutes of community Q&A on anything that we've discussed here tonight or anything that I may be able to answer for you without breaking a contract or getting a letter from a lawyer. Is there anything that we can help you with here on the stage of Talking Trek as we get ready to wrap up here on a Thursday night? Do remind you that we will be in Studio B Saturday night. We'll be back here on Sunday. Also, and that'll be the last show of the arc. So coming up the following Sunday, we'll be back on a Talking Trek with Bubba episode as we get ready to bring him back on. And he was even talking to me today about the homework assignment that he may want to give to you guys.
That's this Sunday?
No, not this Sunday. The following Sunday. This Sunday, as in 2 days, we'll be still in the arc. So it'll be the following Sunday after that we'll have Bubba on. And he wants to give you guys homework.
You know what he was saying earlier this morning in chat? He was saying he wanted to challenge you to watch a particular Star Trek film in an interesting way. Did you read that?
Yeah, that's the homework that he wants to do. So let me tell you, since I didn't realize he talked about that publicly, I thought he was going to make it a surprise. He wants to do a community game or a community movie night of Star Trek the Motion Picture, and said that he wants to turn it into a drinking game. Where every time there are 60 consecutive seconds with no spoken lines, you have to take a shot.
Oh, you'll be drunk.
Griffin says you won't make it past hour number 1.
No. You won't make it till they walk on the Enterprise the first time.
Tarpy says, I am absolutely in on that. But see, Bubba doesn't drink. So I said, what are you going to drink? He was like, I don't know. I said, all right, you're going to have to drink pickle juice. All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Silver tab. Yes. The overture definitely counts.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, when the movie starts.
The overture is the beginning of the film.
No, it's the credits.
Yes,
they used to put the credits in the beginning.
Who are you? Who are you to tell me when the film starts?
The film
starts
starts
in the overture.
Not when I'm reading credits. Okay.
The film, it's not even before the credits. There's just the overture. There's not even any credits yet. The lights come down. That's the beginning of the film. It's the overture.
No, there's like 38 minutes of musical score
How
there.
dare you disparage the good goddamn name of Alexander Courage? He started that film with the overture, and you're not going to rewrite history. That is your first shot on that film, or nobody is going to watch.
All right.
That's it.
I have a way to determine when does a movie start its runtime. Whenever
At
they
the beginning,
start
at the overture.
Yeah, I
then
guess
that's the start of the movie.
All right. Well, Bubba Joe wants to do a movie night combined with a drinking challenge. And I'm trying to think of how we're exactly going to set this up. Because what I think we're going to do is we'll do I need to figure out the legality of doing that here on Twitch so that there can be a playback of it. But we might have to do it in Discord. But what I would do is we'll watch the movie, and I was going to turn the cameras off. And I'll abide by the rules and, the drinking and all that stuff. But obviously, I'm an entrepreneur. I believe in capitalist society. So you guys would only get to turn on the camera with donations of bits. So, so while we're watching the movie, you would get a whale cam with Bubba Joe. You would get a cam with me that would able to be turned on with your guys' contributions to the channel. That way, I'm not just on full, sloppy display the entire time. You're going to have to pay for it.
We can also have a count up clock overlay which is restartable and stoppable on your Stream Deck. Where you start a clock and it's counting up to a minute.
Yeah. I planned on doing that too. Yeah, Tarpy says I would do shots corresponding to votes by bits. I mean, yeah, that's kind of the thing. We'll do bits.
Oh, that didn't work well for another streamer. No, we can't do it that way.
We'll do bits for myself to turn on the camera, and maybe we'll do subs to turn on Bubba's camera or something like that, or donos to, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, yeah, that's what Bubba's wanting to do. And that's the homework that he's providing is that we're going to have to go watch Star Trek: The Motion Picture before the podcast.
Why?
Right. Huh?
What?
He wants to do it before the next podcast. I'm assuming because he wants to make fun of me about it on the end of the pod.
It's not like a watch along?
Yeah, no, he wants to do a watch along, but that's not going to be the podcast. It's just going to be a movie night.
Oh,
yeah.
Got it.
Yeah,
now I get the premise.
Wildstar says, here's the problem. You can't charge for the movie. I don't want to charge for the movie. I want to charge for you guys turning on my camera. But see, that's just it. I don't think that there's a differentiation. I don't know if I can monetize anything if that movie is playing. So I'm not entirely sure. We might have to do it on Discord, which means there would be no record of it ever happening. So I don't know. I'm going to have to do my research on that and figure it out.
You do it on YouTube.
No, I'd get a copyright strike. Yeah, for playing the movie. Yeah, it might have to just be on Discord. So Otter says you could monetize turning on your camera, do it on Paws and Balls.
Oh, there you go.
Am I going to be shirtless? What the hell, Wham? No. I don't think so. It depends on how out of my mind I am, I guess. So yeah, I don't feel like this is going to go well. Everybody thinks that I'm not going to make it, but I'm sure I'll be fine.
Well, it depends on if you're drinking river water or Macallan.
I mean, probably, I don't know. We'll talk. Is this what we're going to spend the last couple of minutes of the show on? Really? This is what we're going to talk about? You guys have no questions on the game. I did that good during this show that nobody has any questions about what's going on in the game. You guys just want to talk about a drinking game.
Recycled pee? All right, are we back on that topic? I debunked that topic.
No,
You're
you
not
did
going to
not.
have me
You did
back down
not
that rabbit hole.
debunk that
That is
topic.
not real. That is not true.
Oh my God!
I actually,
you are so wrong.
I went down to the county office
You're a
and
liar.
I talked to them about it.
No,
they reassured me. They even offered me a tour of the water plant. I should go on that tour of the water plant with my camera.
You should. Let me ask you a question, Griffin. If that is true, then where does drinking water come from? There is a finite supply, dude.
From the aquifer under the ground, not from
But it's not unlimited, dude. It's not unlimited. What happens when the aquifer runs out? Where does the water? How does
the aquifer doesn't run out? It is forever replenished.
How does the aquifer get replenished?
Let me tell you a story about a man that you probably have never heard of in your life, named Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels bought a hole in the wall in Kentucky, back there in the Midwest. It's got a cave. It's a cave in there, and he's been filling his bottles of whiskey out of that same damn cave for 150 years, and it's never run dry, ever.
Gidmon says there's a thing called rain. Okay, great. Where does rain come from? Evaporated liquid from the earth. Where does that liquid come from? Your pee.
I'm signing you two for my geology class. You both need it.
I was going to say, how many of these people got out of third grade science?
I mean,
and the water cycle.
The water cycle. It's called the water cycle. You know what? Yeah, I'm just going to Google. I'm going to Google it right here. I'm going to do it with you guys live, okay? Right here. This is a video element. I'm going to type, show me an image of the water cycle. Google. Okay, here we go. Water cycle. Beautiful. Right here it is, okay? I just clicked it. It's not loading. Dear God, we're doing it live. Here's the water cycle. This is great. This is beautiful. Look at this. Okay, I did not foobar anything. I am going to, my gosh, it even says collection. All right, that is a collection of bodily fluids. All right, I'm going to put this in the graphics room. This is such a great graphic. This is such a great graphic right here. Okay.
Collection does not mean pee. It means the water running down the mountain from the cloud right there at 10 o'clock on your little stupid graph.
It's not just water off the mountain,
I am
dude.
so positive. I'm
Have you
full
ever
of
gone
positive
hiking?
energy.
And then there's percolation, and then there's the fresh water. Look, then there's the groundwater supply underneath the ground. That's where the aquifers are. That's where Jack Daniels gets his whiskey water.
Where does your pee go?
And then that comes out through the salt water. The salt water evaporates into the sky. The earth is covered 83% of ocean, not pee. The earth is not covered 83% pee. That's a news flash to some of you, apparently. And then,
I just don't understand.
The water from the ocean is evaporated, and then it comes to the clouds, and then it drops down. Done.
Griffin, I don't want to spoil you said at least 4 or 5 things that are completely incorrect.
That is not true. That is not true.
Just as many.
What did I say that's incorrect? Give me the first one.
I'm absolutely baffled by both of what you are saying.
I agree.
So am I.
Wait, what are you baffled about me? I am clearly correct here. Okay,
you are incorrect.
I am clearly correct.
Griffin needs
down. Griffin needs to sit down.
You are wrong. Just sit down and be wrong. You are wrong.
Wrong. No.
Dude. No.
You are hurting this physicist educator's head. Please stop.
What? Because you want me to believe that all the rainwater is made out of pee? You have lost your mind. You have lost your mind.
But you just said that Jack Daniels gets their water from an aquifer.
From an aquifer, yes.
They don't. They get their water from a freshwater spring, which is completely different than an aquifer.
By the way, Isaac, you're 1,000% right. The guys at the pergola store told Griffin that's how it works, so he's all in. All right, yeah, he's bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. Yeah, what about bird pee? What about dolphin pee? Fish pee? Rubik says, I would indeed argue, Griffin, that 83% of the earth is, in fact, pee. Ken Shadow says, Griffin, I want you to know, newsflash, I peed in the ocean last time I went to the beach. I'm here to tell you.
Okay? No, we call that a teardrop in the sea. Okay?
There's a sea.
There's a teardrop. Okay? Your little wee-wee cannot fill up any negligible amount of water.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah. If I took just a medicine dropper, okay? If I took a medicine dropper and took 1 drop of urine and put it in your bottle of water, are you drinking it? Are you drinking it?
Okay, see, this is what I thought that has been your point the entire time.
No.
And I have not said that there is not any like 0.0%
You
of pee,
say that
that's
the
not my
pee
standing.
water is
The
not
vast
treated.
majority of the water is certainly from the ocean.
You state
certainly
that
from the
your
ocean.
drinking water doesn't come from human waste.
Exclusively, no. Like, for example, you flush your toilet and 3 weeks later it's getting treated in a plant and then put in a drinking water. That's not how it works.
That's exactly how it works.
Yes, it is.
That's not how it
Yes,
works.
it is. Thank
That
you,
is how it-
Tarpy. Don't argue with Tarpy. Tarpy knows. Okay? That's exactly how it works.
That's not how it works. All right, that's it.
It is how it works.
Most of it is getting in your drinking water.
I gotta take my camera down. I gotta take my crew down. We're gonna go down to the
Oh
plant.
my
And we're gonna
God.
show you the whole process from start to finish. Then I'm gonna go out to California to Crystal Geyser Water in the Sierra Nevadas, and I'll show you where their water comes from. And none of it has to do with here's the waste treatment plant in downtown Los Angeles. Let's put a pill in it, recycle it, cube it out, and it goes in the bottle, and you're gonna piss.
That's
you're
actually
gonna drink the
exactly
piss.
how they do it.
That's completely wrong.
1,000%.
I feel bad for all of you who feel that way.
All I gotta say is that on Tuesday or on Monday, it just so happens that I am doing my water cycle lecture on Monday. Guess
Hey,
what I'm gonna do?
Will you go do a
I'm
water
looking
sample and
forward-
just give us the percentage breakdown of urine and feces that is in it?
0.00081%. Who cares?
I am
That's
going to
basically
record
nothing.
A 10-minute video. I will record a 10-minute video while I'm doing my water cycle and post it up just for you, DJ and Griffin.
Thank you.
That's perfect.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right.
My brain hurts.
That's it, everybody. There's no more. Okay, there's no more of this amazing big-brained entertainment, guys. Thank you very much. My name is Ultimate DJs, inviting you to visit our website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com. That's TalkingTrekSTFC.com, where you can find links over to the YouTube channel. You can find links to our podcast platforms. You can find links to our merchandise store. How Candy White has not made merch out of Griffin's fanatical pee obsession, I don't know yet. But I do know. Listen, there's not any t-shirts in there yet about how wrong Griffin is when it comes to pee water.
Okay.
All right. That being said, we are working on some ugly Christmas sweaters. I don't know if that's actually published yet. He might be done with those. And I'll have to look about getting those published this week. Merchandise. Guys, it's the end of November. Holiday season is just upon us, and you know that your loved ones would absolutely adore some Talking Trek merchandise. You can find it at TalkingTrekSTFC.com. Also, our Patreon is there for you guys to take a look and get enrolled in our brand new Studio B Patreon levels so that you can watch what happens on Saturday night on playback, and you can listen to it, and you can have all kinds of fun stuff with Studio B. I really do appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so very much. As a matter of fact, I updated the patron list, even with our new Studio B patrons. So let me say thank you now to all of the recognized patrons. That would be Lord Neelix, Lady Kess, Iron Chef, Virtual Army, Mechrack, Regis, Shady Pines, Lobot, Segura, Cruzito, Ransusi, Hank, Ape, DJ Gur, Ed C101, Louis P, Grog, Archangel, Smoke Mohawk, Jetski, Papa Smurf, Jason, Captain Jack, Vinium Scorpionus, Archer, and Honey, Indominus, Casey Jones, K9 2, Sir Tail of Crazy Bunch, A Fox, Judge Kren, G-Force, Bamenkus, Captain Q, Game Jr., Admiral Inwater, Cha-Cha Roar, Scarlet Hawk, DJ's got rated again. Prophetic. Jagan, Never Go Full, Tilly, Blue Mandalorian, Noxus, Exhibitor, Furmax, Dr. Link, Clueless One, Welch, Gunner, Unimatrix, Gornography Addict, Web, Balabomb, Medic 213, J-Babes, Dark Knight, Pixelate, Buddy, Spectre, Yukai, Nico, Diva Dorsal, McLovin, Griffin, Mean Bean, Thomas, Everywhere It Matters, Shannara, and Alicia. DJ's Better Refine More, ISO, Sweet and Psycho, Lieutenant Tom Collins, Shaq, Game Jr., Fisty, and Django. Thank you guys so much for your contributions to Talking Trek. A registered trademark and recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. My name is Ultimate DJs, your friendly neighborhood cat person saying meow for now. Love you, minute. Catch you on the next one. Good night, everybody. See ya this weekend. Meow. Oopsie. I forgot to press the raid button. Who you guys want to raid? Ooh, database is on. Let's go raid database. Let's get in some disco. They're going to be on in 1 minute. That's fantastic.
Amazing.
Let's go raid database. All right, thanks, guys. Love you, man. Love, peace, and hair grease. And we'll see you on the next one.